Greetings, you hosts of toxicity, also known as the common internet users, and welcome back to Stellaris with me, Lathrix, and of course, welcome to our newest full playthrough using the brand new DLC and the brand new patch. Today we'll be testing out the Knights of the Toxic God, a very heavily thematic origin with lots of events, and probably also a lot of reading ahead of us because there are just so many things which happen, even in the 20-minute test I did earlier. Centuries ago, this species' homeworld was visited by a toxic entity. The ecological catastrophe that followed ruined half of the world, but allowed an early unification of the survivors in their reverence for the toxic god. An order of knights has been created to search for the toxic god, and although many things have changed, the quest continues. We start off with a unique habitat above our homeworld, which will contain the Lord Commander, along with a handful of knights and a lot of squire positions. The squires can buff up the knights and the Lord Commander, and as you continue the quest to find the toxic god itself, you will buff up the knights and get different options to improve the habitat and your empire as a whole. Now, in my very quick test, I've got to be honest, it seems like not the most powerful origin, at least to begin with. Not a particularly good start with everything, but hopefully, as we continue, the buffs and the story will unfold and become far more powerful. So to do this, we are the House of Decay. Fanatic militarists, originally a warring world before the entity blessed us with its toxic embrace. But now joined as spiritualists, all in reverence to the toxic deity. We are a dictatorship. We have the new mutagenic spars civic, which means every industrial district will give us additional population growth if we build the mutagenic spars. This civilization engages in ritualistic mutagenic bathing, with professional attendants overseeing the use of highly dangerous substances. This invigorating process may appall uninitiated onlookers. It decreases happiness but increases population growth, and that's kind of what we're going with though with this empire. It's going to be incredibly industrial. So lots of forge worlds, lots of factory worlds. We're going with masterful crafters. As you can tell by the portrait here, they really do need all of this machinery to simply survive now on this putrefied world, and because of that, they're very good at making everything they need, even getting engineering research and trade value from it. I also think it'll make the Empire flow a bit better gameplay-wise. Later on, as soon as we start really warring with other empires, we are going to grab the other new civic, which is Scavengers. It allows us to get the odd ship and additional resources when we research debris, which is honestly something I'm really bad at doing, so this should hopefully make me get better at the game, which is really needed with me. As for the ships, we are using the Toxoid ships, of course, and after a first glance of these things, I absolutely love them. It may be a bit premature to say, but this might be my new favourite ship type. I love the very scavenger look of these things, I love all the little details they've got. I really like it, to be perfectly honest. The only ship I don't like is the colony ship. Normally, I love the colony ships. It's the only one I'm not a massive fan of. I don't hate the thing, but in compared to some of the others, it's not my favourite. But everything else, I absolutely adore. Even the colony ship is passable. So with that, and of course using the new Toxoid voice, we begin our journey to decay the galaxy.
I don't really have a lot to tell you. Governing the universe is actually quite easy, if you keep a clear head.
Now, with the new Crisis type, I won't be doing it for this video, because in the future I will be doing another full playthrough using the other origin, which I think I've kind of came up with the idea of a very powerful empire which can min-max a bit more, which then can fight off all of the crises. So for now, we are going to be doing random. Our mid-game and end-game is our standard, which we always use, but then our scaling difficulty has been changed, along with the difficulty-adjusted AI modifiers. So with the scaling difficulty, it used to just be on or off, but now you can also have it set to mid-game, which is more powerful than the standard scaling difficulty, but of course weaker than just having it off. Now, I really like the idea of scaling difficulty, but I've always found it a little bit too easy. All scaling difficulty means is that the AI don't get all of the bonuses straight away for max difficulty, they get it over time, and then once we hit the end game, then they have all of those cheating bonuses. With the mid-game scaling difficulty, the same happens, but much faster, with them getting all their bonuses by the mid-game instead. So that's what we're going to be trying out today. We are also activating difficulty-adjusted AI modifiers. This just makes everything better for the AI. Things like the 20% extra mining will now give 40% extra mining if it's on Grand Admiral. So their endgame should still be very, very powerful. Apparently the AI has been improved once again with this patch, which I'm very curious to see as well. And that is it. So then, time to begin our quest and do a lot of reading in order to find our toxic god. Glory to Nurgle. Hey everyone, Future Lathrix here, just to say that this video is going to be a bit of a different one. Despite being the normal full playthrough format, I am going to be reading a lot of the events going forwards, and I've decided to read every single event from the Knight's questline, from the origin we're currently testing out, and there is a lot of text, and after almost 5 days of gathering all this footage, my voice is almost broken, and my mind is too, because I'm dyslexic, I have a speech impediment, and there is a lot of speaking in very interesting ways throughout all of these events. Now, thankfully, it was really enjoyable. I adored every second of this origin, so I really do hope you enjoy it as well, and make sure to stick around till the end, because we find something really weird on the outskirts of the galaxy too. Once you think everything's over, we find even more weirdness. Now, before we go back to the past, however, I do need to briefly shill for the video itself, because these videos sadly still remain absolute algorithm poison on YouTube, and at the moment, with YouTube trying to push shorts and all the shorter format videos, without interaction, these videos get absolutely buried, but these are the videos I love making. They are the reason I'm still on YouTube, the reason I'm still making videos, so if you enjoy these, then likes and comments help out so much, and show YouTube that these videos still have a place on the platform. So with that, thank you so much for watching, thank you for the continued support, and now back into the past, where we begin our Knight's quest to find the God of Plague. And some other weird things too. And so, we begin kind of near the bottom of the galaxy. Long ago, our planet was divided, petty kings squabbled constantly, and our population bled for their vain ambitions. But with the coming of the first High King, all of this changed. Their inspired leadership forged a kingdom without equal. Above all else, the High King was pious. War was waged against any who denied their god, but still the heretics persisted. The king's prayers were answered when the toxic god visited our world. Though its time among us was brief, its baneful influence poisoned the lands of the unbelievers. Any who survived pledged fealty to the High King. For the first time, our world was unified. The toxic god soon left us, but the king, determined to find it, founded an order of knights. For centuries, these valiant souls searched tirelessly, but to no avail. The toxic god had long since departed from our world. The next chapter of the quest would be written in the stars, apparently twice, with the use of powerful relics. It was the order that built our empire's first orbital station, a mighty keep. It would become the springboard from which they plunged ever deeper into the cosmos. So we instantly have the situation, Quest for the Toxic God. This is reducing our alloys and our energy quite severely every month. We can make that worse to increase the speed of the quest, or we can dial it back at the cost of influence as well. But for now, we'll just leave it as its standard form, and we're going to massively focus on the economy. For a very long time, we are not really going to go into anything except for just really focusing on any resource we can get our hands on. So, research is going to struggle for a while. We're also going to make our lovely Corvettes a little bit more scrappy. There we go, nice chunk of alloys.
Less awful.
Did we not just get alloys for that? Have they finally changed that so you don't get resources back from scrapping stuff like that? If so, I'm glad I know now. Oh dear. Well, we just weakened ourselves for absolutely no reason, because apparently I want it to be a challenge. Okay, extra pop growth is good. Sure, extra research. I was hoping for some of the more economy-based ones, but that's fine. So we'll get started now, and I'll be right back once something happens. It's going to be a while before we start getting these events, I think. But then there's going to be loads of them, so expect a lot of reading throughout this playthrough. Well, we have at least one of my favourites of the precursors. My second favourite, in fact, this is the psychic one, which you have all of the different ruins for as you find new worlds. That is glorious, because it guarantees that you get the psychic tech, the Psionic theory, which means we can go down the psychic route for our ascensions, which I think is very fitting for this empire. So taking a look-see at our fortress station here, we have the Lord Commander, which is producing... Is it producing any navy capacity? Yep, plus 6 Navy capacity and plus 5 amenities, and also a nice chunk of Unity. We then have our Knights producing Unity as well, along with some research and once again Navy capacity. Then we have the Squires, which produce a tiny little bit of amenities, and also increase the output of both the Lord Commander and the Knights themselves. I don't know how to get more Knights, I don't know if we can get more Lord Commanders. I don't think we can, but maybe if we build more habitats we can, because the amount of Knights is improving how fast we upgrade this. So I'm hoping I can somehow get more Knights. They are very powerful jobs, and I would like more of them. We also have the Knightly Duties policies. The Questing Knights increases survey speed and anomaly discovery chance, which I kind of really want right now. It also apparently benefits the quest, which is something I really want to do. We have the Knight Commanders, which improve our fire rate by 10% and home territory fire rate by 20%, which is just such a nice passive there. And then we can also have more diplomacy, but that's probably never going to be chosen by this particular less friendly type of empire. Although we're probably not going to be hyper-aggressive for a while.
This situation has...
So right now, we're getting plus 14% from incubators. That does go up to plus 30, so it's only about half the bonus we're meant to be getting. So I guess I should probably increase the max housing here. Do I want to add more industrial districts? Not just yet. Okay, so let's go with housing. Let's see if that improves. So yeah, 14% right now. Let's see what happens when we get more housing. Oh, okay, so I was a little bit off here then. So right now, over here, we have plus 30% on our fortress station and only plus 13%, so it's gone down even further on the homeworld. So it isn't so much the crowding, it is just how many population are actually there. Okay. That's going to be really awful then on really big worlds, because it's going to reach a percentage really quickly, and then loads more are needed to fully populate it. And that's going to be a negative. Got you. Really good though when you're getting new worlds. So on colonies, you're going to get the full plus 30% then for a while. Okay. Maybe I should have made them adaptive. And I am going to grab Consecrated Worlds. I think it makes sense for the Empire. Honestly, I find it more fun than just one vision. As we get more worlds, we can turn them into our holy worlds because, of course, the Toxic God loves worlds. So we should love worlds as well. Or maybe we should get both, One Vision and Consecrated Worlds. You know what, that's what I'm going to do. We'll start with One Vision, then get Consecrated Worlds later once we have some more uninhabitable worlds we can deem as holy, and eventually to be plagued. Risking it quite early, and I've changed our quest for the Toxic God to generous funding to increase the speed of the increase. It is going to be so long before we get these events, and I really, really want to find the Toxic God in time to benefit from whatever we actually get from that. I can only assume it's good. Also, we need more consumer goods. The reason for that is I'm just now realizing how good the monuments now are. They've been changed, so they now produce culture workers like they used to. And these are really powerful, though. Not only do they give you a lot of unity, as you'd expect. Where are you? There we are. They also increase your navy capacity, which is really nice, and reduce the amenity usage on the planet. That is such a good combo of things. So I kind of want this on every single world. And of course, the monument also increases unity output from all jobs as well. So I've also put one on our fortress station because the knights produce unity, as does the Lord Commander. Okay, so we can terraform toxic worlds later on. Awesome. The detox ascension perk. Obviously, we're going to get that. We're also definitely going to get the Colossus so that we may get our lovely diseased Colossus as well. Our industrial Colossus. Okay, we have an event. This is like a temp 10. I cannot read this type of text very easily. Okay. Knight Elemanic, thy reckless behaviour almost brought death upon 5 of your fellow knights. Thou art of pure heart, and thy goals art noble, but transgressions against the order cannot be overlooked. The Knight Commander was stern and severe, talking in a way that dyslexics would find very difficult. Around him all the knights were present, either in the flesh or via holocomms. They stood silently as the Commander spoke. By my powers I strip thee of knighthood, and banish thee from the order. May fate have mercy upon thee. Elemanic bowed, deposited the insignia of the order on the hangar's floor, then turned without a word and climbed aboard a small ship. Later chronicles would report that the banished knight knew the sentence to be fair, but it did little to ease their grief. When one's whole life has been in service of the order, to be cut out of it is like losing a limb. As they had done so many times before, They flew out of the keep's hangar and into the great beyond. This time, there would be no return. Good luck out there. It's a very depressing start there.
Construction completed. Houston.
But of course, more instantly. That was way faster than I expected. In banishment, Elemani was left adrift. Stories tell of an aimless errance across the stars, until at last a message came from their squire. Master, I hope fate treats thee well. I have sorted through data from thy last quest, as thou commandeth. Thou shalt find coordinates attached to this message. I know not if thou shalt find this useful now. Please be careful. Thou were a most righteous master, and I hope to see thee again. Moved by these words, Elemani was spurred into action. If they could return to the Order with something of value, their honour might yet be restored. The coordinates led them deep into a nebula. Nestled in the ambient mists was a lone station. A fortified structure that seemed pulled out of a dream. Elemani stepped into a derelict interior haunted by the bones of long-dead lifeforms and protected by a phalanx of sentry droids. Hot-headed and impatient, they rushed to meet the Metal Guardians. 3 times they charged and 3 times they were driven back. The droids' motion sensors proved unerring. But strength is not the only weapon of a knight, and though Elemani often overlooked cunning and patience, this time a plan began to form in their minds. Any guesses how many times that took for me to read? Alone in a long-abandoned station, beset by sentry droids, Elemani devised a plan. Knowing if they could somehow avoid the detection of the droids' motion sensors, eventually they would need to recharge. The machines were formidable, but not cunning. Patience, not strength, would be the way to victory this day. Slowly, with long stops and fitful starts, Elemani progressed through the station. At last, they reached the charging stations. With careful deliberation, Elemani severed the power cables. In the same moment, they became aware of a towering droid in the entryway. Detection would mean that the rest of the phalanx would join the fight, and in such a confined space, death was certain. Elemani stood by the door, motionless, as the machine placed itself in a charging station, the red eye of its detectors glowing menacingly. It would eventually run out of power, but that would take time. One by one, the other droids returned to their stations. The chronicles tell that the knight Elemani stood immobile for 7 days and 7 nights until the last droid had deactivated. With the station's droid reduced into lifeless statues, Elemani was free to pursue the object of their quest, the location of an ancient ship that once crossed the path of the toxic god. Only 2 attempts that time. And the funny thing is, this is actually different to the first attempt I had of this playthrough when I just did a 20 or 30 minute test. I did have this first event, that was the only event I managed to see. And that's not what happened. It was something else. So I love that. The fact that apparently there's more than just one set of things happening, potentially, is really cool. More replayability, always very, very welcome. Well, this one I did see, so maybe I'm just going mad, or maybe there's a mixture of events that can happen towards the end. The information led Elemani to an asteroid field anchored to one of the largest rocks was the Damsel, an ancient corvette. Next to it, another of the Order ships betrayed the presence of a knight. Worryingly, its distress beacon was active. Elemani entered cautiously, stepping into the theatre of a brutal fight. Weapon impacts, both ancient and recent, littered the walls, and fragments of robots were strewn around. A little further in, the lifeless remains of a Knight of the Order and a trail of a wounded plague guard beckoned Elemani. Deep within, the banished knight found a body in stasis, their squire's body. Monitors showed that the young... I'm not even going to try with that, was wounded but stable. However, when Elemani approached, the ship's security system's word online, a chilling voice echoed, "Step back, marauder, thou art not welcome aboard. For I am a blobby robot." Knight, sayest thou? Were thou related? If so, accept my condolences and another apology. I thought the intruder to be a marauder. When I asked that they leave the ship, they became highly aggressive. Several of my maintenance droids were destroyed trying to stop them. And my squire? My squire made me realise the mistake I'd made. They had been wounded in the fight and lost consciousness soon after I placed them in a medical stasis field so that they may heal. Ever since my crew was abducted by marauders, I have been very lonely here. I think at this point I have to say I'm going to have to start summarising some of these rather than reading them in their entirety, otherwise this video is going to be many, many hours long rather than just a couple. there is a lot. This is the first event of many, so although I will be reading some of them in their entirety, I will also be summarising some as well. For instance, this poor fellow was hacked, he calls it a hex, and then by the time he came to, all of his people were gone. And it seems like his memories are still locked away. We are looking for the Toxic God. They have multiple records of this encounter, and they wish to join us. You know what? They wish to atone for their sins, just like the knight who found them. They are bringing them back, I'm assuming, to the fortress. Although Sinople, the AI's memory is still mostly blocked, it does know at some point it made contact with an entity very similar to the Toxic God. And as a reward for bringing Sinople back and risking their lives, of course, Elemanic is once again a knight. So now, banish no more, rise a knight. This increases the unity our Lord Commander and knights produce, or we can make some more tech from them. I'm going to go with Unity for now. I feel like we're rushing Unity quite heavily with this Empire, and I'm going to stick with that theme for a while. So, banish no more, rise a knight. So our knights are now more powerful. Yeah, that's a good chunk of Unity each, 10.8 Unity each. And of course, we are also traditional, so that's increasing the Unity further. And we even have the monument there, so lots of Unity, very, very welcome. And a second, we can continue trying to get a precursor. It looks like we're going to be just fine with the regime next to us. They are very similar to us, except for they are authoritarian, where we are spiritualist. But other than that, we're very, very similar cultures, so we'll continue on. Another one of the random quest rewards just popped, and this time it gave us a +2 to the situation. So just sped up our quest a little bit.
This situation
Very welcome. Now to test my luck, I've just finished off expansion, and we now have consecrated worlds. We have 3 worlds we can use this with, so... Oh, that is beautiful. Okay, that is the best one you can get, and the least likely. That is the worst one you can get outside of a tomb world. And, okay, so 2 bad, 1 perfect. Let's try that again. It just costs 500 to remove it, then 500 to do it again. I can do it one more time. And apparently all of our luck was used up on the first one. Still, even with 2 bad and only 1 good, we still get... There we are, plus 16% monthly unity, plus 8% amenities on all of our worlds, and extra spiritualist ethics attraction. I'll try and re-roll them later when we have more unity to play with. That is kind of annoying, but at least we've got one of the really good ones. There's also Venerated, which is the one between the two, and then there's the Unholy World, which I can't remember exactly what they call it. I don't think they call it Unholy World, but it's not good. But because none of these are tomb worlds, we wouldn't be getting that anyway. More industrial worlds must be produced. Glory to the pollutant god. Well, this was by accident, but I actually think it fits the Empire. I just had the Old Gods event, where you need to find all the little relics of an old god, and I clicked the wrong button, which made me Fanatic Spiritualist. So that's what we are now. We're no longer Fanatic Militarist, we are Fanatic Spiritualist. If anything, I actually think this makes complete sense so far, the lore of the Empire, so accidentally I agree with what I've done. Because we've set out, we've instantly found these Ron, which are the psychic, old, spiritualist precursor. I then found another god elsewhere. We are very spiritualist at this point. And of course we are after a toxic god. So, sure, we are now Fanatic Spiritualist, our military might has been somewhat diminished, but our unity is even stronger, and honestly I need to start selecting some of these edicts, because we're going to have just a lot of discount. Yeah, minus 20%, which is really nice. So for now, I also have Veneration of Saints. I don't have too many of them, but that's fine. Later on I'll probably pick something else. It's all well and good. I might go with Harmony next. Getting stability on our worlds would be really nice. Though Discovery would be good as well. Supremacy to make up for the weakness we just had. I was actually planning on ambushing our allies, because we are just doing very well economy-wise. The minerals are struggling a little bit right now, but not for long. Our alloys are going through the roof. We have the ability to make a military very easily. I think we need to go supremacy.
A system has been surveyed.
No longer can we allow their heresy to exist. Or something like that.
Has been found.
You know, good guy reasonings. Have holy worlds always looked like this? Surely not all of our consecrated worlds are currently glowing. Have they always done that? I legit have never noticed that. Holy Will! Radiant. Is that new? Please tell me that's new and I'm not going mad. That's a good chance I'm going mad. Also, this rural world is really being a rural world. It's going to have one of each at the moment. Probably not the best. We don't really have that many worlds. We've been quite unlucky with habitable worlds, actually. Only getting the 3. Another reason why I'll probably have to go to war at some point. Remember as well, when I say we're doing well for alloys, that's taking into account I'm losing 15% of them every month to this. I can always reduce that before we go to war. Build up our fleet power. The Tale of Knights Raza and Hanakona. Departure. Worry not, for I shall soon return, and if fate favours me, I shall bear with me fresh news of the deity. The Knight Raza left us many years ago, and is now long overdue her return. Thought that perhaps maybe she is alive after finding a crumpled parchment with the Milvanius cluster circled. The Knight Commander approved a quest to pursue her and see exactly what has happened. What is her fate? It was no easy feat for Knight Hanakona to locate the Milvanus cluster. Certainly it was not on any map known to the theocratic dictatorship. The chronicles tell of how they travelled far and wide until at last they came across a people who recognised the name. They gave directions and let them know that there has been no traveller there in living memory. The cluster is barren and bereft of life. If thou goest there, then good fortune be upon thee, for we do not know what you shall find. And so Hanakona set off post-haste. I'm probably pronouncing every name here horribly wrong, but you know what? I'm trying, and that's the important thing. When they arrived at the cluster, they found it was indeed empty, and for the first time they felt despair. This had been a most promising lead, but now it seemed as if all had been for naught. Then, as if emerging from a dream, sensors revealed a planet shrouded in darkness, its orbit entwined in the space betwixt the stars, bestowing upon it the name Shadowed Princess. So far I've had a princess and a damsel.
An anomaly has been found.
And a robot named after a colour, I believe. Similar to our homeworld, the Shadowed Princess did in fact have clear evidence of the toxic god's presence. However, it was sadly even further back in time than our own homeworld by centuries that the old god had arrived here. And further, we found the corpse of the Knight Raza. So a pretty sorrowful ending to all of this, but at least we got some more samples of the deity's toxins, and so we get a new bonus. Either we can continue with more Unity, continue some more research, or we can use this to improve our weaponry, adding Pool's Most Venomous to the Cradle of Putrefaction, which is our homeworld, giving us extra research from all jobs, and a Empire modifier of plus 10% ship weapon damage. That's to everything. Considering I'm probably going to be warring soon, that is really tempting, but I like the idea of buffing the Knights over and over again, so at the cost of not becoming stronger, I am going to once again go with Unity. The Knights unify our Empire. Once and forever. What an interesting new portrait. Hello there, Union. Seems like everyone around us is actually incredibly pleasant. We are about to be boxed in though, so war will begin soon. I've also sent a spy over to the regime. And we've just finished off Supremacy as well, so now we can do our war doctrines. I think, yep, just rapid deployment is probably what we're going to stick with. I do need some more upgrades though on our fleet, so I probably should start moving to tech, which thankfully this is going to help with. We found a relic world. So that's pretty useful. As the incubator bonus is now decreasing, I finally put down the mutagenic spar, and that's giving us a plus 26% population growth speed bonus. At the cost of minus 6% habitability, which thankfully not really doing anything on our homeworld, and almost minus 20% happiness. That is a really severe reduction, which is really severely affecting our stability. So not too sure what I'm going to do there. I don't know if the mutagenic spar really is worth it. Maybe it is in small amounts on a couple of worlds, just focused on getting more pops into the Empire, but that's a really brutal negative. I think I could tone down the happiness modifier there. It's fairly extreme. Well, unfortunately for our neighbour, they're currently at war, and by the looks of things, losing. Us being the toxic chaps we are going to take full advantage of this. Our corvettes are on the move, our ground forces are being created, and are being mobilised. I recently conquered a world and liberated its people. Over here. Which is going to become our food world, and perhaps mineral world as well, because I'm now realising we're using up a lot of minerals to maintain our consumer goods and alloys. And we're about to grab their capital. Because how close it is. This is our goal. How much for that? Ooh, only another 23. Okay, hopefully then. I'll wait. Yeah, I'll wait a little bit longer, and then make a claim there as well. We'll grab this entire section. What type of world is that anyway? Please don't be tropical or something. Arctic, perfect, a cold world. So we have a cold population. We can start grabbing some of these worlds. I definitely have. Yep, I have Alpine and Tundra down there. This is everything we need. Wonderful. Also, on another note, our archaeologist is doing really well. Not only are they the archaeologists, but now they're also psychic, so they have a +1 to their archaeological skill. They are very rapidly getting these done. Also, it's a holy world. Didn't realise it was the holy world which had been chosen for this, but all is well. Mind over matter has been picked, hence the psychics.
Hostile fleet.
This is probably going to be a very one-sided war. Oh, they are fighting these guys back. But as long as they're fighting on both sides, they're really not going to have a chance here.
Engaging alien station. The system has been surveyed.
Which scientist just died? Please don't be the one who was... Nope, lovely. As long as it isn't the one who's currently doing all the archaeology stuff, I don't really mind. So, something odd's happened. I've finished off the precursor. This should have made a new system. And it didn't. I've checked for the name it gave, and I've checked my situation log. It just didn't finish the precursor. Which is actually really bad, because that means I'm never going to get the relic along with the rest of the resource and the Zro. Well, found a bit of a bug. Unless it's spawned somewhere where I couldn't see it, but it never does that. It's meant to spawn in your territory or near your territory. Odd. On the upside, we have just won that war, of course, because, well, we're kind of being very mean with that. And because of that, we can now start to inhabit some of these other worlds, which originally we didn't really have a chance to because they were too cold for us. Did I not send a colony ship to you? Oh, I thought it had. Whoopsie-daisy. That'll explain that. Oh, yeah, I thought that colony ship was going over there. Whoops. They don't like us very much right now. Only suspicious, surprisingly. I thought you'd be a little bit more upset than that. And now to fix your worlds, we're probably going to need a lot more industrial districts and such. It'll be fine. Hey there, future Lathrix here, just to say that past Lathrix was not quite correct with everything he just said. It was not a bug, it was definitely not bugged out, it was simply unfortunate. The system was spawned into enemy territory next to a nebula, so I couldn't see it, I couldn't search the name, and I had no ships nearby during the war, and there was no indication that this little system here is in fact Zron. Every time I searched for it, it simply didn't appear. Now I should have noticed that this hyperlane was created, but I simply didn't. Zron appeared, and was ignored, and the neighbours took it. And once they took it, and they took it incredibly quickly, I simply didn't check any enemy territory for this system. I eventually noticed, almost 50 or 60 years into the game later. We found our neighbours, and what a beautiful species they are. Up until we can no longer expand, or someone actually gets in the way of one of our things, either our precursor or our quest, we're not really going to be hostile. We are chivalrous knights, after all. We're here to defend the weak and plague the strong. Or plague the weak and protect the strong. Not too sure just yet on our creed, but either way, we're not going to fight them. I want all my resources elsewhere. I want to be able to keep up the generous funding right now, so I don't want to have a massive military presence. The quest comes before all else. And right now, there's no real benefit on fighting these guys. Would you like a favour. Favour's now worth a lot more in trade, so I'll give you one. Maybe that'll stop you from ever going against us, which would be great. Okay, so there's our next colony. I'm hoping I'll find some more worlds, because that's the only place those colonies can form. The Shroud can reveal many secrets to thee, if thou art willing to pay the price. In the year 2241, so the chronicle state, a holy visitor came to the shelter, a figure shrouded in mystery of a species hitherto unknown to us. He called himself simply Hod, and offered us a bargain. In return for a price yet to be named, he would send a knight into the Shroud. From an entity within, the knight would at last glean the knowledge we sought. I don't trust this, but at the same time, I guess I am currently hiring these people, so maybe I do trust them. I don't know. I don't really know.
Research complete.
Oh, this is... Okay, for a second there I thought somehow I just pierced the Shroud like the Unity ambition. No, this is something else. Okay. And by ambition, of course, I meant to say ascension perk. We're actually very close now to getting that as well. Glory to our psychics. So...
Susurration.
Apparently it's whispering or rustling. So this would be the whisperer of secrets or the cause of whispers of secrets. It's a whispery person. The visitor whispered. This being took a form Mikovar could only later describe as beauty beyond compare. Give us the scent of the first day of summer, the satisfaction of a challenge overcome, and the warmth of a lover's embrace, it spoke. Then shall I reveal to thee what thou wish. Okay, I know exactly what it's saying there. It's gonna take that from us, so it's gonna make us depressed. I can't remember what sci-fi has done this before, but this is giving me nostalgic vibes, and I can't remember where from. But yeah, so if we agree to this, I would bet a potato it's going to make our people less happy. But of course I do want the information. Anything for the toxic god. The price of memory. I was right on the money. So now we know the exact moment of when the toxic god unleashed its gift upon the cradle of putrefaction. It's just a matter of the cost is basically apathy. We are now all horribly apathetic, it's difficult to get motivation for even the simplest tasks, everything is dulled. So, minus 10% happiness, 10% pop reduction, and minus 10% from all jobs. Okay, that is worse than I expected. On the upside, we get a new knight. Or, we can have extra unity from jobs on our homeworld and plus 5% happiness to all of our people. Okay, I mean, the obvious choice is this one, really, but I want to go through the situation as fast as possible, so I'm going to add a new knight. There we go, so now, yep, so now there's 5 knights. Which is a lot of unity being produced. On the downside, once the month ticks over and everything updates, we're going to see all of our resources plummet. Oh, that was worse than I thought it was going to be. Look at my consumer goods, that's not great. Let's just do this. Thankfully, again, I focused completely on economy this time. Our tech is pretty pitiful, but our economy is strong. And I'm really glad I did that. I really am. Because otherwise this whole thing would have been an absolute mess. 2 of this empire's subjects wish to be released. It has 3 of them, amazingly. I wonder if that's... It's not because of the origin. They haven't got the origin to have that leader, right? I mean, it could be. So this empire would fight me. This empire is going to join my side in the fight. Then who is the 3rd one? The Associated Worlds. That's not them. Okay, so it's these fellas. Oh, this tiny little blob here. Well, still got all this corporation on our side, and we are stronger than they are. Though we are behind in tech and everything else, we focus completely on our industry, so our military is decent. So I'm going to move our fleets over, and hopefully, we can take over some subjects. We've grabbed Transcendence, so now our people are true psychics. And soon we can breach the Shroud. What type of ships are those? Those lithoids? No, they're... arthropoid, I think? Or mollusks? One of the 2. Oh, is one set of ships faster than the others? Yes, it is. Ah, well, it's fine. Where are my allies? Oh, they're still trying to catch up. Apparently we're a bit too fast. Oh, well. As long as they're here, it's going to help. Now, back over here, of course, we do have the problem of they might attack us from this direction, so I am building up cruisers now. Wow, our tech is truly bizarrely bad, isn't it? I hate not being a tech empire. My favourite builds are always tech rushes. It's just so much more enjoyable. What type of empire do I... Honestly, I need more minerals, but there's no block. For now, just give me unity. Wish we had the scavenger trait already, but oh well. Can I claim their home? Ooh. Yes.
Research complete.
We'll take your people. We'll take your world. We'll take your future. One day, a stranger arrived at the keep. As a tournament of squires was being held, most of the Order's knights were present, clad in neutronium armor. The stranger strode into combat grounds. The joyful chatter of the crowd died down as the newcomer drew his weapons. The challenge was clear, and with the blessing of the Lord Commander, multiple knights answered the call. Actually, a single knight, I just can't pronounce the commander's name. Within moments, the fight was over, and Lishtim lay bested on the ground. Knight Catrilla met a similar fate, as did their sibling, Knight Carber. With 3 knights down, the Lord Commander summoned the Order's champion, Knight Lethera. The chronicles are full of mighty warriors, peerless knights who have never known defeat, and Lethera was well on their way to join the ranks of these legends. The champion entered the arena, weapons at the ready, and saluted their opponent.
Starbase destroyed.
They fought for hours and yet could not make an advance. Thou art of passing skill, tarnished. The stranger's voice echoed in the arena. I see thy reputation is no boast. He laid down his weapons. I yield to thee, champion. Wouldst thou allow me to return from whence I came? The Order's code was strict, and due to this, they allowed the stranger to leave, and expressly forbade anyone from following them into the unstable wormhole from whence they came. Not long after, the champion was confronted at their post by the fallen knights. They asked to be let through so they could face the Sable Knight again. They wished to regain their honour. I'm not going to let them pass. The Knight's orders are the Knight's orders. The Lord Commander's orders are clear. Thou shalt not pass. There was a long pause before the reply came. We're going through, and thou shalt not deny us. Prepare to be boarded. Spurred by anger and blinded by honour, the knights set upon their fellow. 3 against 1. They pressed from all sides, and with such reckless abandon that they were progressively backed into the corner of their ship. The fight was unfair, for Lethera was careful not to harm the others, but in the end, with their life on the line, the Order's champion had no choice but to fight back with all their might. The day ended in anguish and grief, for Catrilla had been slain in the battle, their sibling was wounded and overcome with sorrow, and Lethera was victorious and had carried out their orders. But they had killed a fellow knight in the process. So only one of them apparently walked away with that unscathed along with Lethera. Knights now produce 3 stability, unlocks the Herald Knights option in the Knightly Duties policy. I wonder what the other one would have gave me. So, stability is good, but it's only going to work on this station. Well, I guess they are producing a lot of resource, so that's still pretty nice. Yep, now maxed out in terms of stability, that's lovely. Need some more housing. So what's the new policy then? Herald Knights. Throughout our domain, the knights are sent to proclaim our edicts and inspire our people. Edict cost reduced, edict upkeep reduced as well. That's pretty good since that's going to stack with our spirituality. I found what it is. There we go. Crystal problem sorted. I think. There we go. Yep, that was it. I completely forgot to also grab the world. His name's Bad Luck. Oh, that's good. Yeah, okay, so you need more stuff then at this point. I'll build a Psy-Core in a while. Until then, I need more tech. Our next war will be with the Union. They are equal to us in every single way. They do have a minion in the form of the regime, the small empire over here, though that's not really a threat to us. They have pretty much been broken down a few times now. But I would like some of their space, with some more glorious worlds. I have no idea why, but apparently their fleets are down there, which is interesting. Oh, let's make sure you're all together, right? That would be nice. Well, 2 of you are. It's 14k, so it should be a win. Depends if they've got a lot of point defense, because we are focusing, as usual, quite a lot on Strikecraft, because I like Strikecraft. Toxic versus toxic here, that's all we're seeing. I am Nurgle's chosen, not you. See? That was without the other fleet even getting to us. Yeah, I wonder why they're down there for. That's an L gate. I'm very glad they were split into 2, because that's pretty bad looking at that.
Our forces have made planetfall.
Stick together, take out that 5k, then we're pretty safe, I imagine, honestly. How's over here looking? They've got some small forces, none I can see which are a real threat. Turning these into that. Got a couple of cruisers just to defend the stations. I think we'll be okay. Yeah, I think it's a pretty clear victor, hopefully. Yeah, once this fleet's gone, the victory is obviously ours.
Construction completed. Hastily.
Okay, let's take out these fleets here. Oh, that is an interesting looking robot. I might take out this station here as well, but that's a fully upgraded one. Don't particularly want to do that. Though on the upside, it looks like the enemies don't really have enough fleets over here to really fight back against my station, so I might as well move both of these over as reinforcements. Now, back to this. After a long and difficult journey, Janara arrived at the system Sinopol had spoken of, as if waiting at the exit of the hyperplane to welcome them was a strange automaton. Definitely strange. Brandishing its weapon systems menacingly, it proclaimed, "Thou who wish to enter the system must answer me this question. Why asked which, this system hath no ood? Why don't you have food? You... Okay, I'm gonna go with this one because I feel like this is a trick. Nay. Alas, this was not the correct answer. The automaton made a tutting noise, and Janara was vaporized by an unknown weapon. In this moment of despair, the knight's faithful squire, Timothona, showed their worth, for they resolved to complete their master's quest. "O fearful machine," they cried, "thou hast slain the good knight Janara, but now thou shalt not best me." The correct answer is, you ate it all, because it's a bloody joke. Yes. Ah, thou art wise, for that is the answer contained in my databanks. Thou mayest pass, if that doth pleaseth thee. The automaton disappears in a cloud of smoke. Onwards, then. I'm also now moving in my science vessels to grab all this scrap. I've just noticed as well, it's changed to scavenge and research projects in the system, rather than just research projects, because of course we are now scavengers. The fact they're not inferior still to us is mildly worrying. Yeah, these fleets need to move over there. I'm fairly certain they're not going to get through here. This Empire doesn't seem to have anything of worth to attack us with, but just in case, going to further reinforce these two. And keep making more cruisers, because cruisers honestly just make me happy. And so the Squire entered the system. There they came upon a planet recently visited by the toxic god, perhaps even as little as a century ago, judging by the telltale signs left behind. As they entered orbit, a signal was picked up from the surface. "Greetings! I am Ghouls, a sub-sentient AI and servant of the noble Sinopol, whomst I believe thou knowest. As my designated liege AI bid me, I have surveyed the planet and discovered much about the mighty swarms with which the toxic entity beset the planet. This information I shall now transmit to thee." A data transfer followed, and then another transmission. "My purpose is now complete. I bid thee farewell." An energy pulse was detected on the planet's surface as the drone self-detonated. As the squire returned home, triumphant, they were deemed worthy of knighthood and elevated into the Order. Furthermore, the Order's research unit raised an enticing proposition. With just a few more data points and assuming regular movement on the Toxic God's behalf, they might be able to triangulate which region of subspace to search for its current location. Or just normal space, if I read that correctly. So we can use these swarms as a weapon, more food from our homeworld, which is useless to us, but then extra strikecraft attack speed, the equivalent of 2 repeatables, more for our knights to study, plus 2 research from all of our knights, or the knights will remember the ghouls. The robot. Knights will now produce plus 3 additional unity. Or is it Jules? Ghouls? Jules? Bob. I mean, I have been pushing unity with the knights and it has been really fun. Some research would be nice, but at this point I feel like I do have proper tech worlds. You know what? I'm going to continue with what I've already been doing. The knights are now producing over 40 unity each. Okay, how big is that? Okay, that's absolutely fine. So take out those 2, then finally take out this station, then come back. You start to move in. I want to see how the scrapper system really works.
Engaging hostile fleet. Engaging hostile fleet.
There we are, the very first bit of salvage. It gave us all the usual stuff, but then also 621 alloys and a couple of ships, or in this case, a single ship. A little corvette. That's a decent chunk of alloys, actually. I'll keep the cruisers being built for some time yet. Now, I could make a claim here and be pretty cheeky, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. Grab that world as well. Since we're going to have to fight over there anyway. Oh no, our glorious leader has passed away. Please don't make the jellyfish annex leader.
Engaging alien station.
Endless destruction, endless salvage. Honestly, Scavengers seems really good once it gets going. My reinforcement's almost that good because they're slowly weathering me down. It's actually incredibly annoying, but as soon as we get status quo, we win, since we've already taken over the world, so it's fine. Well, that was an interesting one. We just got gas and food from one of these. Ooh, you got a little bit beat up by that fight. But I think status quo is finally here. Ooh, okay, need to make sure we definitely have that system. Then we can status quo, and then all this little track will be ours. A victory for the House of Decay. Some of the Union is now ours. Ooh, it's a science world as well. Beautiful. Welcome aboard. Gonna build a station here, and this is gonna be a shipyard for the time being, just so I can reinforce over here and not move all the way back. A lot of my things currently need to be repaired or upgraded as well, so let's go to the black hole and get upgraded. Now, what I need to do is check out my minions again. Hello there, minion. What can you give to me, is the question. That's me paying you, right? Yes, okay, so... I mean, I could just do that. You're already unhappy with us. Honestly, I don't really care if you're loyal or not. You're too weak to really help out too much. 2 holdings would be good. Yeah, just give me some of your resources. That's fine. Ooh, that's really expensive, and you want the weaker one. You know what? No, let's not do that. Let's go to the stronger one, and yeah, it's already 30%, isn't it? So... there's not really much I can do right now. You know what? Both just stay as you are. I'm happy with the 30% from you, and... I don't really care about the weaker one. You can just stay there and hopefully get stronger for the future. I'm benevolent that way. Now, I did make a new station, just in case we can make knights there, and it does seem like that's not the case, sadly. More glorious industry.
Research complete.
So, I've got to be honest, the scrappers so far, I actually think are really good. I didn't think that the Scavengers Civic was going to be that great, but... it really kept us going throughout that entire war, allowed us to keep on making more ships, and yeah, the extra resource and the occasional random ship just to throw at the enemy is really nice. I think it might be better in the early game, honestly speaking. Of course, you'll get less resources because it's based on the cost of the things you destroyed or got destroyed on your side, but I still think it'd be better in the early game. Just getting that odd corvette, getting that little bit of resource, it just means you can focus more on warfare without worrying so much about your economy, maybe. But it's definitely something I need to test out. I can't really say that with any real certainty. Researching debris will grant research and a portion of the resource costs of the destroyed fleet. I don't know if it does increase in just normal research, but almost 500 for a chunk of debris seems pretty nice. I've got all my science ships currently over here grabbing all of these. There's loads of bits of debris, so we're going back and forth for so long. I mean, that's just fantastic. Just here's a chunk of alloys, here's some research. Makes me very happy. Please, this time, give me something useful. Oh, okay. The Eater of Worlds. No, it's the opposite of what I want there. That's not... I don't devour and destroy worlds. I plague them and make them perfect. That does not go with the theme. If it went with the theme, I would have gone with it, even though I don't particularly find the Eater of Worlds a particularly good covenant. Damn! I finally got a covenant option. Wasn't what I wanted. How close are we to the next thing? Decently close. Just 2 more and then the big end. I am so looking forward to that. The Tale of Knight Bemelona, Guidance of the Fae. The Order has a mission for thee, Knight Bemelona. The Lord Commander's voice was imperious. Sinopol's last databank has finally given up its secrets, and we have retrieved enough data for a speculative model of the toxic god's trajectory. Thy mission shall have 3 parts. First, thou art to investigate these coordinates. Second, shalt thou test our prototype armor. Finally, sometime back, one of thy fellow knights disappeared at the very coordinates now provided by Sinopol. It is your task to discover what transpired there. The Order's prototype neutronium armor was magnificent, a testament to the skill of its artisans. It was both sturdier and lighter than ever before. Its powerful shield generator was adorned with beautiful engravings, but these were mere trivialities compared to the greatest feature. The armor could now provide a direct connection to Sinopol, allowing the AI to provide guidance from anywhere in the galaxy. With this, I keep saying this name differently every time, Bemelona felt ready for anything. The travel was uneventful, but soon after landing on their target planet, they met a stranger cloaked in red. And as we know, red means dead. Also, I can now build battleships, so I really need to do that soon. Ooh. Look at that big belly it's got on it. How about the hangar version? Ooh. It's a creepy face. Love it. A creepier face. Love it more. Have mercy, my lord. I am naught but a peaceful pilgrim in need of aid. Persecuted for my belief in the toxic god, an entity most holy, I find myself hunted by a relentless foe. I beg of thee, protect me and allow me to continue my pilgrimage in peace. And we can read its mind. Our psionic abilities allow us to sense the nefarious intentions of this individual. Is that so? Then thou art less a fool than the other knights I've known. I've looked forward to watching thee fight each other, but I suppose my prediction won't come to pass. Regardless, it doesn't change that thou soon shall both be dead. Traitor! On guard, fiend! Ooh. The stranger removed their cloak and drew 2 curving blades of arcing light. A red glow flooded the field as blade met blade, but only after a brief skirmish, the stranger's superiority became evident. They were obviously toying with the knight. Pathetic fool! Didst thou really think thou had a chance? I can read thine attacks in my mind before thy body has a chance to move. A series of brutal attacks followed, leaving the knight's shield generator depleted. In a gloating tone, the trickster continued. The Shroud is a pathway to many abilities, something that the decrepit Shroud walkers who train me never understood. Oh, that explains their portrait then, since that's the Shroud walker portrait in the first place. They barely scrape the surface, too afraid to dive deep into their rightful powers. The knight lunged forwards, but the stranger battered it away with disdainful ease. To think they would banish me! Me! At that moment, Sinopol's voice echoed in the knight's armor. Brave knight, thine opponent might be able to read thy mind, but not my circuits. Surrender thine armor to me, let me fight for thee. Bemelona relaxed as Sinopol took over. The fight was over in moments. Sinopol struck a low, merciless blow under the stranger's parry. Gasping in surprise, the stranger fell to the ground. Triumphantly, the knight picked up their foe's luminous blades. As they did so, the body of the trickster abruptly dispersed in a plume of vivid mist. We shall meeteth again, no doubt. These laser weapons could make handy tools too. Knights will now increase the production of alloys across our empire. Well, I'm very glad I'm a psychic. I wonder how that goes if you're not a psychic then. Monthly alloys plus 9%! So each knight's producing... Wow, so each knight is giving plus 1.5% alloys. That is a fantastic buff to our empire. Currently, we're using a couple of our alloys in the quest, and of course, the fact our fleet's a little bit too big for our naval capacity right now.
Someone else is trying to attract your attention.
The first very minor battle of our battleships. Yeah, I think this is my new favourite ship set, but of course it is also the new one, so of course for a while, I'm gonna really just like it for the sake of liking it. Anything new is immediately shinier. And apparently I didn't need you there, which is a shame. What I do need is start collecting all this trade value I'm not collecting at the moment. This isn't a very heavy trade value empire, but I'm just letting it kind of go to waste at the moment, which is definitely a mistake. It doesn't quite go with the theme of this empire, the whole detox thing, but I like the idea of living on a toxic world, so although I am turning them into worlds which we can use, I'm going to assume we're still letting them be plaguey and disgusting, we're just changing them in such a way that now we can live on them, rather than it utterly destroy us. Kind of jumping the law of what it says there a little bit just to fit the thing, but I really wanted to test out this. And honestly, it's nice to see so many worlds we can use. It's a lot of energy per time though. Back at war once again with the Union, I'm going to just keep this choke point with my starbase and all my fleets here, and use a smaller fleet just to destroy all of these systems and take their worlds. Okay, I might need to send a couple more with them, but still, you get the idea. It should be a lot easier than last time fighting for this territory because we have the choke point now and everything else we want is behind it. Over here, I'm still not nervous at all about this empire attacking this area, so I am pretty good to go. More places for the House of Decay. Okay, a second attempt here at communicating with a presence. And it failed. I was so hopeful then. Our world has truly been made beautiful. Look at its healthy green glow. Oh, here's a question. Are these still getting bonuses from the factory and foundry arcologies? Yeah, they must be, because that's definitely above what they begin with. Okay. Habitability is not an issue anymore. I mean, it isn't really anyway, it's the home world, but even more so now. I would like more foundries. Also, I need to turn some of our worlds into just alloy worlds, because we are making way too many consumer goods right now. They're not heading for me, so instead, I'm heading for them. I've made claims all the way to the capital, which is very inefficient because we are in an offensive war, which means I had to pay extra. Can you follow on the slower ones? Thank you. But I was just sitting there doing absolutely nothing, so we're going to have one glorious fight in their home territory with all their fleets if they don't split up. Actually, don't split up. I want to see a glorious battle. Also, can I get Titans yet, please? I think I have all the prerequisite text, but I'm just missing it every time. Because once I get Titans, I can unlock the Colossus, and that's when the real fun begins. The Tale of Night Carb, the Witch of the Woods. It came to pass that during the travels of Night Carb, an otherwise obscure and disfavoured knight, they happened upon a signal emanating from the debris field in the space between stars. They speedily laid in a course to investigate closer. As they neared the source, they heard a beautiful voice calling from across the ether. "O brave knight, I have waited for thee for millennia, hoping that thou wouldest come to my celestial forest. Now that thou art here, I hope that thou wilt spare me the time for a visit to mine own humble abode. I promise yond thou shalt find it worthwhile." It's the most beautiful voice I can think of. A small station had appeared as if from nowhere. Oh god, listening back to that, I just recorded another take of that with a normal voice. It's up to future Lathrix to decide between the two. A small station appeared as if from nowhere. The years of fruitless searching having made them impatient for a stroke of fortune, Carb moved their craft to dock. That was so stupid. Oh, even by my standards. Oh, hello.
Junk catalog.
You're one of our fellas. As Nightcar boarded the station, they were greeted by a feminine being of incredible beauty. She looked like a plague-god, and yet there was no mistake that she was an entity far more advanced. I'm sorry, but look at the portrait. Oh yeah, that is some feminine beauty right there. She smiled, and Carb realised their concept of attractiveness had been limited, even constrained until now. They felt an uncontrollable lust growing within themselves. Of course, yeah. Of course. Oh god, I've tried to read this like 20 times. So, I am calling her Simile, because that's how I read it first time. I am Simile, spirit of waiters and vagabonds. I hast deemst thee worthy, she drawled. She looked Carb up and down. I, worthy, forsooth. Worthy of what? Simile smiled again, invitingly this time, stepping closer to take Carb by the grappler. I wisheth to partake in amorous rites with thee, so that we can maketh many fine offspring. Nay, thou shalt not tempt us. Die, Faye. Ooh. Oh, but apparently Carb has done well, so that's good. Though I did just look a bit of a spoiler, then I just saw curse. In just a moment. For the glory of the House of Rock. Did two of their fleets just move out? Okay, Chance, you want to give us a bonus to our strength? Ship speed would be good. Nope.
Aliens have targeted our star base.
They would have done some serious damage if they'd stayed. Yeesh. Even now, a lot of damage is being done with our strikecraft just bouncing around. Every full playthrough, I moan about strikecraft, and yet I always use them because I absolutely adore them. Don't know where you're going, honestly. Just gonna go in a big circle like that. Where are our science vessels? Move there. Don't go all the way, because you'll probably be in danger. Glory to our house.
Starbase destroyed. Or jump for the pile.
Beautiful. All that glorious scrap. After a very long time, and me finally realising I've missed some worlds down here, we now have a complete victory over our enemies towards the right. And, well, we definitely have some issues. In fact, we have lots of issues. Mostly minerals are really, really bad right now, but our alloy production is through the roof, so yay on one side and boo on all the others. So our new systems, I need some of them to become mining worlds. It just needs to happen. We'll see what happens once the month rolls around. Okay, this is with the update. Actually, it's not too bad then. That is with the update. That's not too insanely bad. I can prop those minerals up, honestly, with our income. Especially once I get all the trade value from over here. I am now finally able to build a gateway. So what I'm going to do is this over here is going to become a trade station. I'll build a gateway there. And then I can build gateways in my new territory, because right now it's basically impossible to get all that trade value from such a distance. I thought I could make gateways. Oh, I had gateway travel. Well, I'll have it very, very soon anyway. Now I've got gateway travel. I've clearly been ignoring it. So we can grab all these systems because, yeah. That's going to be a lot of trade value. Yep, 300 for instance there we're simply not getting. I couldn't really route it through at the moment. It goes through my allies' territory, which will cause problems. I have no way of protecting it. It would just be issues. So at this point, this enemy is pretty much nullified. It has 3 systems of planets. That's nothing. So what I need to turn against now is the sovereignty and the state. The state is actually a vassal of the sovereignty. I don't know how the sovereignty got so many. But either way, I'm going to start moving my forces over to this system. And start reinforcing up there. Shroud's not being very nice. How long has there been a face right here? I think I found the toxic god. It's my border gore. So here's the battle plan right now. We are superior to everyone nearby, though not overwhelming. once we go to war with the sovereignty, we pretty much go to war with the entire galaxy, because, my god, I don't know how they've done it, but they have just grabbed everyone. Now, a lot of these are fairly small. We have the Union over here as their defend, as well as their defensive pact, and as you can see, we've just ruined them. I'll just move some fleets over just to make sure I can handle them during the war. We have the state, which is the only one I'm massively concerned about. We have the association, who can't get to us very easily right now, so again, that's what I'm not too concerned about. I'm building up a new fleet over here. That'll defend this section. And then we have the regime, who are... Who are you? Oh, when did you grab these fellas? Oh, so once again, it's these guys again. I have very little concern. Ooh, they've got bigger. Okay, I'm going to make sure my fleet's built up first. Though it won't take too long for us to build up the fleet. It's going to take a while for them to get to us. Yeah, I might start fairly soon. I want to essentially vassalize the sovereignty. If I do that, all of these other states become mine. Well, that's timing. The final event. At least, for our situation, a legend has returned. Deceived and betrayed, Mikabar met their fate at the hands of a dark wizard. Engulfed in purple smoke, they disappeared, never to be seen again. On yon day, we lost a most gentle knight, one of the founders of the Order. Here endeth the history of Knight Mikabar. Centuries ago, chroniclers wrote about the death of Knight Mikabar, who helped create the Order and witnessed the toxic god's visit to our world. Today, however, an addendum to the chronicles will have to be written, for Mikabar has returned. Oh, so they're really ancient then. The original founding of the Order, of course, when the toxic god arrived before we were in space. Well, I can see why this is weird then. The Order investigated an energy spike on Cradle of Putrefaction and met Mikabar, freshly returned from interdimensional travel. They were taken in discreetly by the Order, who will verify their identity and then be told exactly what has happened. So he can do this. We must tell everyone, celebrate! Plus 20% happiness, plus 20% monthly unity. We really don't need unity at the moment. We've actually finished all of our tradition trees, and we don't have the tech currently to do the ambitions. Though I guess that would give us some stored unity. Everyone celebrate! The extra happiness, I suppose, will be a lot of extra stability. Meanwhile, this is madness. Over on Toxico 1, that's going to become our gas world, apparently. Okay, where are the forces of our enemy? I haven't seen them all. I do have a spy as well, so I should... I guess I don't know that much. Let's try and gather some info. I would like to know where their forces are, to be perfectly honest. Because currently, it's very weird. Enemy forces aren't really doing much. I've had to fight off a couple of small fleets over here, but nothing too major. I just need to grab all these stations and keep them. Then that'll be fine. Over here is completely safe. And I have dragged in one of my allies. The corporation over here is fighting with us today, because I changed the... Sorry, I'm just very distracted by the fact that's called burritos. Anyway, burritos? Sorry, just the fact that's so close to being just actual burritos there just really distracted me. So, as I was saying, I changed the agreements of our contract to the corporation. They now will join us in any fight, even if it's an offensive one. Greetings, I am Squire Sebakira. Knight Mikabar would like to meet with thee. They stand ready to face our questions and tell us what hath happened. Anything to know beforehand? I say they, then suddenly I have a sneezing fit. Let's try that again. They have been brought up to speed with our technological progress and seemeth to be acclimatizing well, but their mindset is very different. Our core values are similar, but they have stout opinions about the way our society has evolved. Best avoid these topics for now. Finally, at last you deign to visit me. So thou art what passes for a king these days. I possess important knowledge about the toxic god, meant strictly for the king. I expect thou hast many questions. Ask them. How are you settling in? So much hath changed. I bethought I was returning home, only to realize yond home doesn't existeth anymore. Everyone I kneweth is long dead, and only the chronicles can enlighten me as to what hath occurred. I recognize not this world, but at least the Order is still there. The quest goeth on, and mine duty is clear. Art all these tales about the truthful? The chronicles are truthful, there are minor variations, but the most part these gents only maketh our mission reports more readable. I didst slayeth 100 fiends, and braved many dangers for the heart of a maid. Not that matters in the present day, the lady is as dead as the others. What happened during thy exile? I'm not sure, thy people toldeth me I hadst travelled to another dimension. To me it was like a years-long dream with no awakening. Nothing made sense, neither what I perceived nor my own feelings. All that saw me through the ordeal were memories, recollections of people I had known, those I loved, those I did not, the wizard who sent me there, as well as my own wrath. And most especially, the one who holds the key to my heart. It was a chaos, but in the end I gleaned some precious insight in the process too. Okay, time for the toxic god stuff. The images he saw were like looking for a fractured mirror, and of all these images, he did in fact see the mage, who seems to be sealing something toxic using his ship. And he seems to know where it is. Prepare the knights, we leave at once. The data point recovered with Sinopal's help has allowed us to chart a path followed by the toxic god and to pinpoint the system where it might have gone next. However, upon entering the space, Knight Mikabar reacted immediately. He's here. I can sense his presence. We followed their directions to a forlorn moon. Upon landing, our knights were immediately confronted by none other than the trickster, previously encountered by our knights and Mikabar in the day of old. Days of old. Thou art persistent, the trickster said, but this is the end of thy quest. Mine own master shall not tolerate thy foolish beliefs to fell the balance of the Shroud any more than they already has. There is no toxic god, and soon the toxic knights will be no more. As the trickster fell silent, we registered multiple signatures entering the system. Have at thee. Shroud entities. The Order's fleet were beset by energy beings summoned by the tricksters. At the same time, on the moon itself, our valiant knights were set upon by a host of shroud beasts, conjured by the rogue Shroudwalker. Our knights were driven back until the Lord Commander rallied them for the Order. The shout echoing across the field of battle, the knights reformed ranks around their commander and dove once more into the fray. At the heart of the melee, Knight Mikabar laughed, reveling in the purity of combat. At least one thing remained unchanged whilst they'd been gone. Suddenly, the knights broke through. Only the trickster stood before them. The rogue Shroudwalker unleashed a blast of psionic energy aimed at the Lord Commander. In the last moment, Mikabar dove to intercept the attack. Nightcarb, famous for their encounter with Simile, delivered the final blow to the trickster. Foul knights! May your people fall to woe, and all your knowledge be forgotten. The trickster's last words sizzled with malign energy. On the ground, Mikabar was also about to expire. Chronicles would later report their last words. Rather he slayeth me than my liege, for my death shall not be great harm. Not half as much as his. Mikabar, no! And Curse of the Trickster added for 2 years, minus 30% happiness, minus 20% research speed. I wonder if that would have happened if I had kept it quiet, so everyone didn't know that Mikabar was back. I am very, very curious. In the aftermath of battle, the knights searched every inch of the moon. At last, deep within the southern reaches, they discovered a baneful contraption left by the trickster. Energy thrummed as cracks appeared in the machine. With the death of its creator, it was gradually unraveling. Streams of psionic energy spilled forth. Within moments, the machine was reduced to cinder. From orbit, the ships reported a strange subspace phenomenon at the edge of the system. Gravity itself had shifted to accommodate the restoration of a blocked hyperlane. The resulting energies unleashed a powerful EMP, frying most systems above the Order's ships. To fully understand what transpired that day, we have to dispatch a fleet of our own. Ooh, I wonder where that was. Was it here? Is that it? Nope. Where? Something happened.
Hostiles have targeted our station.
The toxic god is hostile. There he is. There's our boy. It's an angry jellyfish. Is it part mechanical? Yeah, it is. I wonder if that's the binding, though, from before. Toxic God is his name, which is interesting. What happens if we just send a small... You know what, I'm just going to send... Oh, I can't send anyone in there. Actually, I can. I'll send a single transport vessel. I just want to see if anything pops up when we enter the system. Obviously, I'll properly enter it later. Do I have to beat down the Toxic God? Because that is very funny if so. I was hoping I'd be able to communicate with it maybe or something. The system is home to swirling corrosive mists, and within them lurks the toxic entity we've been searching for. A metallic maw, a chitinous carapace, tentacles and gas sacs. This spacefaring behemoth glows with a sickly green light. We are not welcome. Those all eyes on the back of it? That's horrifying if so. The god is testing us! Summon the fleet. We will after the war, so hopefully we can get this war done nice and quickly. Just lost a large fleet over here. Thankfully, our allies are pretty much ready to help us. That's why, yeah, that caught us off guard while I was attacking one of the stations. Hopefully, they're going to attack soon. Are they on the move? Well, please do something soon. You're meant to be our allies, and you're kind of sitting here. The weird thing is, though, despite that, they've just pledged a secret fealty towards us, so apparently they do like us. Over here has been an absolute bloodbath on both sides. It turns out that the Association did have a decent fighting force. I have knocked them back a few times. I've now put a larger force over here so we can start invading this territory. They really like their bastions. Just absolutely everywhere, but I do need some more points in this war. I don't mind status quoing, because I really want to go after the Toxic God as soon as possible, but I do want something in return for this war. Now, I have grabbed a lot of worlds over here, so if I were to status quo right now, let's say if it was allowed, I would make an empire out of 28 of the systems here, and that would be our new vassal. Obviously, I want more than that, so we're going to keep on going, mostly just focusing on taking as much of the sovereignty as possible. Anytime I see a good fight, I'll try and go for it, because, again, more war exhaustion on the enemy's part, and less fleet power is always good. That was on like plus 15 a second ago, but then I lost my fleet, and yeah, that was whoopsie-daisy.
Colony established. One more place to live out your pitiful lives.
Composer of Strands, that is Zinch. I will accept. Through Zinch and Nurgle, we will have victory. A weird combo, but still. Really, I wanted the Slanesh one, the Instrument of Desire for extra resources, but it's becoming more and more less likely I'm going to get any of those, so I'll keep that for now. Still haven't found my precursor system, it just really didn't pop up. Well, I underestimated the Association. They have like 30, 40k fleet power over here now, so that's definitely very, very concerning. Yeah, they've took back their station already over here. We'd pushed all the way in, now they're pushing back. I'm cleaning up this area over here very quickly, so we don't have to watch our backs anymore. Zeron! Was it always there? Okay, we're getting very close now to a status quo, finally. So, updates really are just attacks have been happening over here. Finally, my ally rushed in and started destroying some of the smaller fleets of the enemy, which is lovely. Over here, I have reinforcements. I've lost all these systems back to the enemy, though I wasn't really trying to keep them all that much. As long as my fleets and territory are safe, that's all that matters. Over here, we're pushing these fellas back over and over again. I've taken this back like 3 times. Polaris will be ours. And that's it, really. What I need to do is get our ground forces around and start taking some of the worlds, because there's definitely lots of systems where I haven't grabbed the worlds, but I've grabbed the star bases. The more worlds we have, the stronger our new vassal will be once we status quo. Plus 20% fire rate from the Shroud. Ooh, that is really good. Actually, that's a good point. I should really just buy these things. And that should get us into status quo territory. So what weapons are we using mostly? Ammunition. Sadly, I'm not using a lot of cannons, but that's the main thing I'm using. I'm using a few lasers. Sure. So hopefully once that month ends. There we go. Perfect. Wait, I should have checked. Did I lose anything with that? I'm assuming not. All fleets, please move over here. Almost all fleets are now here. Most of them already repaired. Ooh, I could wait until we get one of the X-size weapons, but I don't think I will. We are so behind in tech where we need to beat it to fight a ×25 endgame crisis soon. Hopefully, the glorious god we've been worshipping this whole time might give us something. That might be nice.
Research complete.
I think I'll wait until this fleet gets here and repaired, then we're gonna go. Actually, a lot of them are repaired anyway since I went back to the station. Couple of fleets there. We are building gateways, but it does take a long time. But once these are built, it means we can get all the trade value from over here, so that's going to be like hundreds upon hundreds more energy per month. It also means getting between the sections of our empire and our creepy face is going to be a lot easier as well. Today we test ourselves against the toxic god. May he find us worthy of his blessing. Oh, he is nowhere near as strong as I expected. Okay. Interesting. So we have two options here. The toxic god is defeated and lies at our mercy. Analysis reveals that while the chemical composition of its secretions is close to what can be found in our homeworld, it is not exactly the same. Is this an offspring of the true god? Could there be others? Or was this merely a beast of the void? Whatever the truth, our scientists speculate it could be nursed back to health. We could have this thing at our beck and call. O toxic god, smite our enemies, or this is no god, slayeth it. The trickster was right after all, this is no god, the quest continues. End the quest, take control of the toxic god, a colossus that can toxify worlds. Oh, I don't know. I really don't know. I want to do both here. The toxic god seems to be a bit faster than a normal colossus. Just slower than battleships. A normal colossus is slower than that, right?
Construction completed.
Oh, and it can jump as well. Fantastic. Huh. Bad Luck Charlie is apparently the chosen one. An interesting name for a demigod. Where is Bad Luck Charlie? There we are, Bad Luck Charlie, the mindful, adaptable scientist. I'm gonna replace you. Unsurprisingly, the system where the toxic god was having a nice little chill is in fact very, very toxic. Which is both a good and a bad thing. Millennia of exposure to the toxic entity have caused alterations in the makeup of the star. Though once it was a fairly standard Type G star, now it emits an eerie green haze unlike anywhere else in the galaxy. And lots of worlds to terraform. Where are they? Like this one over here. That one can be terraformed. I believe this large one can be size 30. Well, obviously I'm going to do that. Where's tropical? There we are. I accidentally turned all the others into continental, which isn't what my main species likes, because I'm a bit of a dum-dum like that. All of these must be terraformed to honor the toxic god. Is there only 2? I thought it was 3 I could terraform. Am I going mad? I thought that one was terraformable, apparently not. Must be too far gone. Hypnotic. I did end up losing quite a few knights by choosing that last event and taking the toxic god as our own. So what we're going to do is make sure that we have the orders holding on every single world we possibly can. Wait, wait, how is your capital only 8 people? Can I build it here? No, it has to be the capital. Why is your capital that tiny little system? I took so many worlds to choose from, and you made this your capital? Also, I did take Polaris for ourselves. I like taking home worlds. It makes me feel good. The toxic god has been found, but with this discovery, the Order has lost its purpose. Minor quests and errands are not fit for knights used to valor and glory. Listless and lost, more and more knights have begun to leave the Order. Today, the Lord Commander gave all remaining knights the choice to stay or leave with his blessing. Many left in search of another life. Some have organised in small groups of errant knights looking for new quests to pursue across the galaxy. The Order's keep building will now support fewer knight jobs. A little bit of unity has been gained. How few now? 4. That's a shame, because they are producing so much extra alloys in the Empire. That is a real shame. But we'll look back fondly upon this time. Now, in 4 more years, I can once again go to war with the various groups I was just at war with. I'm going to be taking the Union either as a vassal or just claiming all of its territory. And after that, I will be freeing the vassals from these fellas, because the large state over here has pledged a secret allegiance to me, so it'll be easy enough just to crush them and force the state into our protection instead. Then after that, I don't really know. We'll then have the Colossus definitely at that point, and of course, we do have Nergi, who we're going to see in action very soon. Then we can decide. The Colossus is in the form of the Toxic God. I love that. So currently, our ability is Shine Divine. We can make people believe in our way of thinking of the Toxic God. I mean, we have proved the Toxic God exists, after all. It's not really a particularly powerful Colossus, but I thought it certainly fit the bill a lot more than the others. I'll leave the rest of the fleets here for protection. The gateways must be really close now to being finished, right? Yeah, only a year left, so they'll be ready before the war starts, so I can jump around a lot easier now to our borders. Everything should be alright. That's a gateway there, in our allies' territory. Did I end up building the gateway over here? No, I didn't. Did I not have enough alloys at the time? Maybe not. But yeah, we need gateways here, and honestly, one over at Polaris would be great as well. Then we'll build one down here eventually, once we have taken all this. Yeah, am I going to make this a union, or am I going to... a union? Am I going to make this a vassal, or am I just going to take its territory? I'm not too sure. Gateway's now ready, just in time, because we definitely needed that energy. Glory to our allies. And so it begins. So, random side note, I managed to miss the first pop-up since that was the second world I toxified. The first pop-up read as follows. As the awesome stream of venomous substances from the Nergi subsides, feverish flora is transformed from a vibrant ecosystem to a noxious world on which few forms of life can thrive. And yes, the first world destroyed was already called Feverish Flora.
Our forces are
Maybe I should leave them with some worlds? Oi!
An enemy planet has been secured.
You interrupted me. It is nice that Toxic God can actually defend himself.
Aliens have targeted our starbase.
Whereas a normal Colossus, of course, has no weapons at all. Ooh, only a couple more worlds. Ooh, I wonder if I can actually toxify these, since they're not technically in my territory. No! Because of the silly system there. I'm guessing there's a very annoying claim put there. Well, that's irritating, but fine. Guess we should leave it with one world anyway. You know who I should destroy? These guys. They have been annoying for the entire game. Okay, Toxic God, get back to a gateway, and then you're going home. And then to visit some old friends of mine.
Research complete.
So our Colossus targeting a station is pretty weird, honestly. Ooh.
Our forces have made planetfall.
That's so bug-like.
An enemy planet has been secured.
Love that. Now, yeah, it's a station, so it's kind of inside of it. Not the best to see this, but still. I mean, you'd believe in this thing if it's just devoured your world, to be fair. Faith enforced. Well done. My god, that is a decent defense force. We only just about... Yeah, we're only just about going to beat that. Well, to stay there, so you're defending our border, and that's fine. I would like one small fleet, though, to back off and start grabbing all of these so we have all of our target's territory. That would be great.
Engaging hostile fleet.
I'm going to attack this fleet, and I'm going to make claims here and here. This way, if we status quo, we are actually going to destroy that empire. They're the last two systems which have any of their worlds. Really hoping I win this. If the strikecraft aren't completely dumb here, we should be okay.
Research complete.
They bulked up since I last saw them. Yep, there's definitely more fleet power there than I remember. You know what I'm going to quickly do? Should have done it before, but I didn't think I'd need it. Since I want to keep on doing that, you see. Okay, a couple of their fleets just cracked. This isn't our full force either. I should have just brought everything here. I've got a several 100k fleet power still near the homeworlds. Wow, what a close battle. But yeah, we are definitely winning now. The rest are being destroyed. Thank you to our allies for joining us there. And now we can status quo. And because we've claimed this system, which has one of their last worlds. Oh, wow, I just realized, look at that ruined orbital ring. That looks phenomenal. Love that. And we also claim this system, which has the other worlds. I think that's it. I'm going to double check just to make sure there's no other... Cool. There's no other worlds. Triple checked. This should be the end of the Empire. Yeah, there we go. End of the Union. Galactic station is moved. It is now ours. So we've also taken the Galactic market with us. Do you still want to join us? You do. That's actually a little bit surprising. Ooh, I can go straight to war for this. That brings you on our side for the war. Okay.
We have declared war. I didn't think you had.
It's such a small empire over here. I don't really mind too much. Yep, let's just move on. Ah, the gateway here isn't quite yet done. Will be soon. Okay, let's move on over. I mean, we've seen how powerful the Chim state is, and they're about to join us. They're actually on our side during this war, and it looks like these are the only real powers left within the sovereignty, so yeah, this shouldn't be too bad. It's at this moment we are now doing repeatables finally, very, very late, honestly, and we need to decide what exactly is going to be upgraded, and I think I'm going to have to hedge my bets and go with kinetic weapons. The reason is I don't have Cloud Lightning, so using energy means I'll be very specifically against the Scourge. Using kinetic means I'm very good versus the Unbidden, and I'm decent against the Contingency. And honestly, the Contingency is the big threat here. If the Contingency spawn in, I'm probably going to lose, and kinetic is good against them because I have so many shields. Cloud Lightning would also be good versus them because they are shield and armor heavy. But I think it's mostly shields if I can remember correctly. So Strikecraft and kinetic. It also means I can focus on my shields. I am using the Psionic shields now. They are incredibly powerful, so giving them a bonus is really good. Shields are crap versus the Scourge, but they're fantastic versus the Unbidden. And again, I think they're very good versus the Contingency, who mostly use laser and energy weapons themselves. So shields and kinetic. That's what I'm going to go with. It enables me to use both of my tech types to upgrade our ships. So lots of cannons. I also think cannons look better with this kind of theme. Big, dirty slugs going towards the enemy rather than precision lasers. Yeah, let's go with that. So we should win this one pretty handily. With the Chim on our side here, who were very powerful in the last battle, in the last fight, and with the enemies being, honestly, a lot weaker than the Chim themselves, and of course we're fighting, we should be fine. That is to say, if I can balance my economy. which apparently I can't, despite the fact, look at how much we've got stockpiled now. We really need to start sorting out our worlds and everything. If this was happening to your worlds, wouldn't you just submit?
Research complete.
Glorious, glorious disease. Create resort world. Well, that's not quite what has happened there, but, you know. One more world, Toxified. They basically have until they surrender to see how many of their worlds are going to be plagued, so they really should give up. Now, my allies are actually beating them at the moment. I've not really sent my fleets to do much. Nergi over here has just been wandering around, destroying worlds. Wonder how long its jump cooldown is. So it's still the normal 200. Okay. We are victorious. Sadly, not quite fast enough to save one more of their worlds, which I can't even find where it is, but there's a toxic world. There it is, the green glowy one. So they lost 3 worlds worth of population because they wouldn't give up fast enough. We now have the Chim under our control. Don't know why they're so upset about that. They're the ones who wanted to join us. And of course, we're adding back the Order's Commandery. The main reason for this is although the Knights are no longer helping with the quest, because the quest no longer is anything, each of our Knights is increasing the alloys we produce throughout our entire empire by 1.5%. Doesn't sound like much, but it certainly adds up. And once we can negotiate their contract, we are going to be trying to grab some of their materials as well, just like all the others. Well, except for you. But you're just so tiny and not really worth it. You're a protectorate. Aren't you adorable? I'm guessing you're that unloyal because you just don't like me. Is that the case? Because of the whole, you know, toxifying worlds thing? It probably is. Though I do want the state to join me in offensive wars, and then we can go against things like the entity a bit easier. How are they superior to me? That is impressive and terrifying. Now, we do have the Colossus. So, yeah, what we're going to do next is go to war with the regime here, and we're going to do the Total War ability, because we have the Colossus. Is the main reason why I wanted the Colossus, outside of the fact I like having a Colossus in addition to Nergi. And we're going to just grab everything. So all of these systems, all of these worlds are going to be mine in a little while. This will be the last set of fleets now with these type of armaments, just loads and loads of strike craft. From here on out, we're going to be using the Giga Cannons and the kinetic artilleries, with some strike craft in the middle. I'll probably have 2 versions of our ships, this version and the version which just has pure artillery. I don't know why I brought Nergi here. Nergi, go home and be protected. Thank you, Toxic Guard. Finally, we have Ascension Theory. I mean, I have so much unity, I'm about to activate all of this. Definitely want that, definitely want that, definitely want that, definitely want that. Anything else? I mean, I guess I kind of want that. That shouldn't be all of our unity.
Research complete.
Beautiful. I've also went with Defender of the Galaxy. I was originally going to go with the option to build either more megastructures or unlock, you know, Galactic Wonders and the better megastructures, but honestly, it's just too late now. We only have 22 years before the endgame crisis can probably spawn in. I think we just need the extra damage. It's the boring option, but I can't really see a better alternative here. Ooh, spoopy ghost. Sorry, every time I see at Border Gore, I absolutely love it. Just for reference about how much I actually own in the galaxy, it looks more like this. Once you change the Union style on the map. So we're about to completely devour the regime. They have no hope. We just defeated all of their fleets over here. We're just taking these systems. It's just a matter of getting my ground forces from one planet to the next. All of our lovely clones. Once that's done, we'll go after the Association. They are currently at war. They're actually decently powerful, but yeah, they are currently at war. Oh, they're part of the Federation. Interesting. Send in Ivory Sam, the spy. I'd like to know who you're in a federation with. Ooh, hope it's not one of these two. These two are the worrying ones. Well, there we go. That is one of the worrying ones, but less of a worry, so actually I think we'll be fine.
Our forces have made planet.
The war is going fantastic, but as you can see, our economy is completely tanked, and that's because I'm finally turning every single one of our species into psychics. It's going to hurt for a while, but we've got enough backup, it's not really going to be a problem, and every single month that gets less and less of a problem anyway, so we're going to be fine. We almost completely eradicated all of this enemy, there's only a couple more worlds left, and then everything's ours. In the meantime... do I need to move you anywhere? Yes, I do. In the meantime, when I can, I am turning worlds straight away into pure perfection, activating the Archaeology project, though of course not at the moment with our minerals looking as they are. But we'll get loads of those, and for everything else, I'm putting down loads of strongholds to finally get our navy capacity to a more respectable number, because we can produce fleets very, very quickly. We're even building ourselves the mega shipyard to make them even faster. And our ships are a lot stronger than they used to be already.
Construction completed. Haste
Even if we can't do many
our
repeatables.
forces.
They're beating up one of the precursors. Well, that's a problem. We probably should do that ourselves now I think about it. Why am I not doing that exactly? Why am I going after the... Okay, so obviously this empire is a worry because they're currently equivalent to us and they don't like us. But really, getting more worlds at this point isn't going to help out all that much considering we need to do so much work with them. Taking out one of these homeworlds would be fantastic. If we can get the core and boundary, that's a lot of unique buildings, a lot of population, and the tech for better reactors, which means more of our epic shields. Probably would be best to do that. Okay, I think I'm going to have 5 more years of just prep so I can just breeze through them. Then I'm going to rush on over and attack them themselves. Wish our allies had a gateway nearby, that'd be great. But alas, sadly not. Don't suppose that's cheap. No. How much for a climb? Oh, what I'm talking about. I have a... I have a Colossus, I don't need to do climbs. I had like 3 separate species to uplift, so I got loads of influence and I've just made the climb, because I realised the problem of going to total war here is the borders are next to my ally who will be joining me in the fight. The systems will end up going to them, which is a big issue because I want them. So instead, I've just made a climb on their homeworld because that's all they really care about. I just want these two. We'll be going to war fairly soon. Shields really don't stand a chance. So much kinetic damage. I don't know where their fleets are, which is kind of worrying, but at least we can go straight for their capital.
Our forces have made planetfall.
Also bringing over my normal Colossus, just because I can convert their people into our way of thinking before we conquer them. Which means, well, they'll be a little bit happier. They understand the beauty of the toxic god. Oh, they're at war with someone else already. I didn't even notice that. Buffer zone creation. Oh, the entity grabbed the system. Well, that was dumb. I actually quite like the entity as well. I'm hoping to join a defensive pact with them eventually. Like a kind of east wall here, which is all us. Fighting fallen empires is a lot easier when the enemy fleets are apparently non-existent. I have no idea where they are. Well, actually, I kind of can guess. They're still moving in towards the original fight as we just... Yeah, we're here, so I'm going to quickly convert these two. Shine our divine light upon them.
Jump catalog.
Did I not give our Colossus a jump drive? Well, that's just dumb. I have no excuse for that. I must have just completely forgot after getting jump drives. It's so rare to have a Colossus before getting jump drives for me. Again, I love tech rushes. Prepare to have light shone upon thee. The beauty of Nergi is revealed to thee. Oh god, I'm speaking like all those knights now. There we go. And let's not do it to that one. I thought there was a negative associated with that as well, like happiness or something. But yeah, so that should have turned everyone into spiritualists, right? Yeah, so now once we conquer the world, it'll be ours. You know what, in that case, shine light there as well. Our clones and our xenomorphs have landed on the core. The boundary has been shone beautifully. We'll be victorious soon. Look, all my allies are here now as well, which is great. Yeah, I've associated, I have negotiated, because I kind of forgot you can brute force pretty much anything as an overlord, because you can tell them, I want this from our deal. They can say no, but it costs them influence. So as long as you're out-influencing them, you can keep on asking, and eventually they can't say no. That's why I was a bit low on influence when I first wanted to claim this before everything else. Oh no, actually I do care. That's going to be all sarcastic then. No, I actually really like you. I want you to be my bestie. Would you like some favors? Favors and a lot of envoys. Yeah, come on, be my friend. I want, again, eventually I want a defensive pact with you. Wish I could help you out here. Actually, I might do. Oh, but that's so much bother. Now, the main bit of tech I wanted from this is the dark matter reactors. Shiny. From that, we can have way more power on our ships, which means way more shields. So more psionic shields. Wow, look at that. That's a decent bit of fleet power together. Unification of the right of the galaxy is almost complete. Oh, that's interesting. So, I've always considered the Divine Enforcer, this type of Colossus, to be the worst Colossus. To be perfectly honest, in comparison to all the others, it seems to have less of a place, really being that useful. Once you get to this point, you can have things like Hearts and Minds and everything else. You can force certain factions away. So, converting them into Spiritualists, it's okay. It's not fantastic, but it's okay. But the rest, I think, are fantastic. But then I was confused. Why do we have 100% war exhaustion against this enemy? And it's because of this. Destruction. Faith enforced or nano-assimilated planets. That counts. I didn't think faith enforcement counted, so it's the least damaging of all of the Colossi. While still giving you massive war exhaustion penalties to the enemy. So right now, yeah, despite not really having a proper fight, we have 100% war exhaustion from the enemy, so yeah, I can actually see a purpose to it now. Has it always been that way? I mean, there's a good chance it has. I so rarely use this Colossus. All will become psychic, even those who are nerve-stapled. Don't know what good that's going to do with them, but, you know, sure, fine, whatever. The Divine Light is also still here. It's affecting these worlds, giving them plus 999% extra Spiritualist ethics attraction. Basically, everyone's going to stay Spiritualist for a very, very long time in the core and boundary. And now that we have the core, we have all of these beautiful buildings. More consumer goods, more alloys, all of our rare resources and minerals, energy, food, and a couple of fortresses. And same with boundary. I probably should finish off the Fallen Empire eventually, though. If they awaken, we're going to be their first target. Whereas over here, the first target's going to be their neighbours, which actually... they're pathetic. They seem to be doing okay. I thought they were losing the fight. Maybe they had a bad start, which then just got better. I guess that's probably what happened. Ah, you know what? I should really send a single construction vessel over to fill in this one and fill in this one. Then the face will be a lot more obvious. Having this over here is also fantastic because it means we can build a gateway and it's nice and far away from our home territory. We could do the same then with the progenitors over here, the other precursor, the other Fallen Empire. Grabbing Cradle, Mother and Brother. Not only, of course, would it be a huge economic benefit, it's a really strategic place. If we have this in our territory, that would be fantastic. Put down a gateway here as well, then we can pretty much make a weird triangle. I just thought there'd be 3 Fallen Empire. Aha, here's the last one. Oh, it's the robots. Well, he's hoping it's not the Contingency. Well, he's hoping it's the Contingency, but they don't turn on us. That would be lovely. Oof. Oh, war's going on over here as well. Oh, the Entity. The Entity is just always at war. It's just all they do. And I love them for it. Okay, the plan now is definitely to attack the progenitors soon. This wormhole here has been now finally charted by us, so I know exactly where it is. It's nice and close to our territory. We'll go there, we'll claim the home world, and I'm going to use Nergi to obliterate every other world, which basically will remove this fallen empire without the need to take every single world, because all the other worlds will be gloriously toxic. Over in our home territory, we have now almost completed the mega shipyard, so we're making loads of battleships at once. Our economy is doing beautifully, our science is doing terribly. Because here's the thing, 16k tech isn't bad. 16k tech at this empire size is dreadful. We're getting very, very few repeatables done. I think I'm only on the 4th or 5th one at the moment, so we can't rely on that. We have to rely purely on numbers for when the endgame crisis arrives, and honestly, if it's the Scourge at this point, we're doomed. If it's the Contingency, it's going to be very, very difficult. And if it's the Unbidden, we'll actually be okay, because we have loads and loads of kinetic damage. But yeah, I am very concerned. We have maybe like 600, 700k fleet power total at the moment, and it's not particularly highly upgraded to fleet power. It's... yeah, we do have other fleets just kind of hanging around, but I'm still fairly nervous. Right now, I'm just waiting until our gateway's done over here. Then I'll use the gateway to move my fleets around, and that's when we're going to attack the other fallen empire. I got impatient. The other fleets are still waiting around near the gateway construction. These were the ones which I was building for the last war over here. We have some build-up over here as well now, of course, with our mega shipyard. Trying to mix the two types of battleship a little bit, so we have the artillery class, which is just... looking at you. Which is just the artillery, as you can imagine. Then we have the version which also mixes in some strike craft, which acts as point defense. Now, this needs to be changed, but currently we're building this ship, so this needs to be changed, of course, to pure kinetic damage, because that's what we're currently buffing, and honestly, probably just want more fire rate. Yeah, having both of these up is so nice and fleet. Extra fire rate for us, less fire rate for the enemy, tends to be a good time for us. Okay, gonna just make a claim on their homeworld. And then we go to war.
We have declared war. I didn't think you had it.
Once again, not doing a total war because it's a lot easier for us here to just do this because of all of our allies' borders being kind of annoyingly placed. Nergi, could you please follow these people? Good, Nergi. Whoa, I think our friends are really winning this war over here. Jeez. Yeah, the hive has spread. Well done to the entity. The Fallen Empire have the funniest AI. They almost always do this, and this is why just going for normal easy wars is just the best way in my opinion. You just rush in, they tend to rush out to try and find a weak spot on your territory because most other empires have open borders to them because of the rules of Fallen Empires. And then as long as you just have one system you're claiming, it's nice and easy. And of course this time around, we're going to make sure the Fallen Empire has no chance of awakening. Probably should have done this with one over here as well. At some point I will do the same to the Vestige over here. I don't want them to be able to wake up. Though it's getting pretty late now, I doubt it's going to happen. Oh yeah, did no mid-game event happen? I swear, mid-game events just... The odds of them happening is far too low. No, 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 don't land. Bad. Bad. Stay with friends. Friends, don't let friends land on planets that are about to be destroyed.
Research complete.
Time for some toxic love. Now there's one gone. Well done, Nergi. Which fleet's moving out? Okay, you two are moving out together, aren't you? Okay, so please follow them along. They're going to take out the smaller stations. I think they're not too strong. Ooh, the Preserve. I forgot that was a thing with this one. Is it worth taking the Preserve? It's a Gaia world, which is obviously fantastic. It'd be good for mining, which we do kind of need. Problem is now if I claim it's going to be more expensive because we're in an offensive war. Oh, 520 influence. It's worth it. It was my fault for completely forgetting that was a thing with the Xenophile Empire type. So if I just get one of the fleets which aren't doing anything, like you, over there. Lovely. Then we can go and grab it very, very soon. Our ground forces are probably strong enough they can just land here already, right? I mean, yeah, it's at 1k. Land on, brother.
Our forces have made planetfall.
Glorious xenomorphs. Ah, that holy green glow. Oh yeah, speaking of which, so Entity, you don't mind me doing this then? Maybe you do, but you really like me. No, you do not care at all about me toxifying worlds. Good. You're my only actual friend in this galaxy. Everyone else is either under my control or too scared to fight me. Though, I will say, the AI has done a really good job keeping up with me this time. I think it might just be the option to increase the power of their researchers. I think that's really good. Their researchers, their research. I think that's really good. How goes the ground wars? Okay, so Brother's already taken. Cradle is now being taken. So, of all of the endgame crises, I will say, I would like to see the Scourge or the Contingency, even though the Scourge would absolutely destroy us, because I want to see if you can toxify a Scourge world, and I want to see if you can toxify the Contingency homeworlds. Because that would be really cool. The war was pretty uneventful. I honestly have no idea where their fleet went. I kept on looking and I couldn't find it. Either way, we've grabbed all the worlds. What we're going to do is Mother is going to turn into a archaeology world. Cradle is going to be a mining world, and so is Brother. Lots of mining districts there, and that's where we're going to get more minerals from. In fact, we're also going to get some minerals just by the buildings here. We do have some of the dimensional fabricators giving us rare resources and minerals at the cost of energy, though not enough. I guess they do also have the auto forges devouring minerals, but still, it's all well and good. That's going to take a while because I do need to assimilate their population first and destroy their robots. Over here we have the Preserve, and the Preserve is... Oh, yep, another mining world. Glorious. Absolutely glorious. That's what we'll do. So this section over here is going to be all about our minerals. So I don't have to come back here for a while, and I'll put down a Hollow Theatre. That should be pretty much all we really need here, honestly. This should be it, and this will be a mining world. Good. Building a construction vessel. A gateway will go down. Once the gateway's down, then we have access to this territory even easier than before, so we can bounce around the galaxy quite easily now. Just in time as well, we have 1 year until the endgame crisis can potentially spawn in. If we're lucky, we'll get another 5-10 years. I don't think I'm going to go to war again now. We're at the point where if we go to war, it risks us being really, really out of position. Oh, our allies are fighting the Fallen Empire over here. Okay, we'll just leave that then, that's fine. If they awaken now anyway, they're far too weak. They just won't stand a chance between us and our ally, the Hive Mind. Look at these little guys go. You were in one of the trailers, weren't you? I can see why you're adorable. The centralized states here keeps on trying to threaten us. It keeps on sending all these claims and everything else, but it has so few fleets. Our allies could probably handle this by themselves, and I have some fleets ready right now next to it. So I'm going to go to war to turn them into our tributary, because why not? Extra minerals, extra energy, all is good.
We have declared war. I didn't think you had it in you.
This really shouldn't be too difficult at all, honestly. Approach from different sections. We have fleets everywhere. We have loads of fleets back at home if they do break through some random direction. It's weird to be doing this so close to when the endgame crisis can spawn in, but yeah, I don't see why I wouldn't do this. Ah, Nurgy killed the science ship. Well done, Nurgy. So they did end up waking up. That was a surprise. You've just finished your war with them, right? Yeah. Decrepit fools. That's actually an annoying amount of fleet power for them to have. Like, yeah, we would crush them, but them being there is going to be really irritating, isn't it? Should have plagued them. Should have plagued them. Well, hopefully, they won't wage war on us at the moment. I need to deal with these guys first, and then the endgame crisis is arriving soon, so... Need to be careful. Make sure Nurgy's destroying some worlds as well to force loads of war exhaustion, and... I've also claimed this system because there's a mega shipyard site here, so I can have 2 mega shipyards. Good old Nurgy. It's a shame the Toxic God can't target stations, and by stations I meant to say habitats. Because there'd be so many to choose from here. This system is ridiculous. Guess I'll just have to settle for the home world. Oh, here we are in Sol. Lovely. What have you done over there? Ooh, Sol was a tomb world, apparently. And they've colonized Mars. And turned it into a tropical world. So everything turned out okay in the end. They built so many gateways, that's great for us. Once they're our tributary, we can use those freely, so we have even more access to this section of the galaxy.
Our forces
Ooh, we're gonna have split the galaxy into two. Gorgeous. There's a lot of ships just chilling here, because one of these has take point, and I didn't realise. Well, good to know when the endgame crisis arrives, we have some backup. At this point, we've kind of reached that moment where we're just waiting for the endgame crisis now, trying to fix things up as best I can. So I'm sorting out our systems a bit more. I'm, for instance, building a gateway down here to collect the trade value. I'm going to start collecting some of these smaller systems, little bits of energy and everything I'm just missing. Not that it really matters all that much. We might as well do something while we wait. And I don't want to go on a full-scale war right now, although we are much stronger than pretty much everyone. Though, again, they have stayed relevant. Hundreds of thousands of fleet power each, easily, all the other empires. We are now strong enough to crush anyone we go to war with, but we don't really want to go to war right now. We don't want to be caught out of position, regardless what the endgame crisis is. It's 12 years in now since they have the potential of spawning.
military station. Reduced to run. The fleet has been lost. Be more careful next time.
There goes one of their main fleets. Ooh, they've got a lot there, actually. Probably should wait until everything's together for this one. The amount of lag my fleets cause is kind of becoming a problem. Did we just headbutt them to death? I didn't really see what happened then. Oh, I think they all ran. That was way faster than I thought they could, though. Oh, unless they just moved down here, they could have just moved. Okay, never mind. Oh, the lag is so bad. Okay, Nergi. Wait, are we in total war right now? Yeah, we're on end threat, aren't we? So these worlds will just become mine, and if I just land on them.
Enemy planet has been secured.
Okay, never mind. Nergi's not really getting much use then today. Sorry, Nergi. You can go home. Found out where they've gone. I went over here. So I'm very glad I've got the gateway, so it's not really going to be an issue.
Our forces have made planet.
In the meantime, the other forces are just going to take the last of their worlds. They have a few small fleets bouncing around, but our allies should be able to grab those.
Our starbase.
Oh, that's why it's lagging as well. I've got all my allies with me, of course.
Aliens have targeted our starbase. Hostile
Yeah, they're going to be able to grab a couple of systems, but they won't be here long enough to grab any worlds. That's the only problem, really.
our station.
So we should be just fine. And this will end the Fallen Empire. Awakened Empire. Empire. And stay out. Nergi is going to have some use, because annoyingly, these worlds have an insane amount of protection, similar to their normal worlds. So, all three of these systems are just going to be purified through toxicity. Look at those little swarmers. Wait, are those Scourge swarmers? Are they using the model for the Scourge swarmers? I think they are. Interesting. I do love the fact that unlike a normal Colossus, Nergi can defend itself against like very light threats, but even then, a normal Colossus, you have to babysit it constantly, because even a few Corvettes, and you're in a real problem. I now also have 2 fully functioning mega shipyards. We have one over here and one back at the base. Our coordination center's almost done. We really are just waiting around now for the endgame crisis to finally start. I'm still nervous about the Contingency and the Scourge, especially the Scourge. The Unbidden, I think at this point, wouldn't be too difficult. The Contingency, it depends where it spawns. If it spawned, like, here, in the random eye which someone has taken at some point, then there's going to be a problem because it's so near my base and everything, I won't have time to react. But if it spawns even just a little bit out of that, I think will be okay, and it depends if they cluster together or if they're nice and spread apart. A lot of ifs and buts with the Contingency. So here's hoping for the... Ooh, hello. Unbidden. For a nice easy end. So, at this point, we're just waiting for the crisis, everything's looking good, and now that the storm's passed, you can see the actual strength of my fleets, which is very, very big. Several of them are over 200,000, and we just have loads of them. We have almost 5,000 fleet capacity right now, all being used up. And, of course, all of our allies, which should follow us. What is that? Isn't that the Contingency thing? No, it's something different this is. I think. Well, I don't want to find out what it is. I'm sending in my fleet. An eerie glow lies over the system. The ship has emerged in a sector of the galaxy surely not visited by any galactic civilization for generations, for millennia, if ever. But wait, our sensors are reporting energy signatures. Most are concentrated on the first planet of the system, an unlikely candidate for life, considering its proximity to a neutron star. But there are others, mobile ones, and of course those are the enemies we're about to fight. I am bringing way too many Titans, because I accidentally made loads of Titans earlier rather than battleships, because I was not paying attention. On the upside, that means loads of very cool-looking Titan fire, which is always nice to see. There we are. We have defeated the defenders. The system is a curious sight. There is very little solid matter remaining in it. Even its asteroid belts have a bedraggled look, as if they have been extensively mined. A series of large installations placed at regular intervals around the star, and there is a single planet that our readings suggest may be artificial in origin. Intense energy signals have been detected emanating from it. If answers are to be found, it is there. The broken AI world. No, this is definitely not the one I was thinking of, the Contingency one. Yep, so let's survey the system. I want to know exactly what's going on as soon as possible. Ooh, looks like a bit of a broken ring world as well. At some point. Well, the system's ours now. A little blob outside of the galaxy. And thankfully, we have a very high-level scientist here with all the right traits. Psychic, which is +1 skill. It's then an archaeologist, so it's faster at actually doing the job, and it's just a high level, so yeah, we should be able to break through this decently quick. I'll leave the fleets here just in case. They're close enough to always hyperlanes and gateways we can get back if need be. Decently fast, as long as the rest of our forces are just chilling over here. I can't really make much more force right now because it's going to break the game. I think I'm going to give the game until 2375. I don't know if I've already mentioned this because this is the next day of recording now. And if a crisis hasn't spawned by then, I will force a crisis in because it is taking way too long. As far as our researchers can tell, there has never been life on the planet they have dubbed the Observation Terminal. But there is no shortage of activity. The surface is densely built up, massive artificial structures placed upon the bare bedrock in neat, orderly rows that cover almost 3/4 of the planet. Billions of mechanical drones maintain them, performing tasks ranging from menial cleanup duties to running highly complex assembly lines. Their exact purpose remains, however, unclear. Our researchers are preparing to send a team to the surface to investigate further. As our researchers pass amongst them, the drones on the planet ignore their presence and continue going about their tasks. All efforts to communicate with the drones have failed, and even attempts to disrupt them produced no reactions. The drones simply rode over the interfering researchers, causing serious injury. Since then, our researchers have shifted their focus to the program's steering the drones. Analysis of intercepted signals suggests there is an overarching system steering them. However, the encryption it uses is extremely sophisticated, and it has proven hard to find out more. So all completely impervious at the moment. While our researchers have been unable to make further progress investigating the planet, a team has been investigating the array of objects spread across the system. There are over 10,000 of them, all told. Most of them are long and cylindrical devices that still seem to be operating. They are transmitting a signal towards the planet. Given their shape and the fact they all seem to be pointing towards various points in the galaxy, we cannot escape the conclusion that this is an absurdly huge sensor array. But who could have built it? Is this Contingency then? Because they do have to censor the... No, because they're already in the galaxy. Well, I guess they can still be connected to this. If this is able to detect what the Contingency is after, I honestly have no idea. This is definitely new to me, so I think it's new with the new patch. In a daring move, our researchers managed to implant software into an access terminal on the drone's mainframe, in a moment where no drones were nearby. The intrusion does not appear to have been detected yet. Our impression is of a highly sophisticated system, beyond even our own networks probably, but one which did not anticipate the need to protect itself. No doubt the physical deterrence of the defense fleet was deemed sufficient. Nevertheless, the systems we are infiltrating are vast, a term which seems a gross understatement for this planetary system, so it will take some time to find out more. Oh yep, the difficulty's ramped up a lot for this next one. It seems the automated systems in the system are older than we can imagine. The data systems we have accessed do not give us any clues as to the identity or the intentions of its creators. But one thing we have managed to ascertain is that they arrived no less than 1.2 billion years ago, and departed soon after setting up the system as an observation post to surveil our entire galaxy. Remarkably, the system is still operating even after all of these years. The array of installations spread across the system are, as it turns out, highly sophisticated sensors. They send a live feed to the planet where the central operating system processes it into information the drones can save and store. Spurred on by shortages of space and matter, it appears that they have improved their data compression techniques with determination. The massive structures on the planet purport to contain the sum of all observations ever recorded. So over 1 billion years worth. Okay then. However, we cannot test this assertion since the data is compressed well beyond our ability to decompress it. Disturbingly, a reduced stream of highlights is still being broadcast into empty space. But surely no one is listening after all this time. Regardless, our programs are poised to take control of the drones. We may now shape the system to our imagination, if we dare. Let them continue. We can siphon off their readings. Give the drones to the planets. Oh, well, we're not going to do that because we don't want the robots. This is an enormous alloy mine. Plus 25 alloys, and that's it. That is, plus 25 alloys we'll get over time. I'm going to let them continue then, I guess. So that is it. I expected more of a insane reward there. Oh, and there is a sentry array. Wait, if we own the system, surely this is ours now. Right? The thing is, I could already kind of see everything because between my allies and myself, I think the sentry array is active. It looks... Oh, I can just check it. Base intel. 65. Base is 50. Would that be with the plus 40? I'm not sure. Intel 50. Base 50. That's plus 40. I'm sure you get more than just plus 10, don't you, from other things? Not too sure. Doesn't really matter one way or another. Again, I can pretty much see the whole galaxy either way. We now have control of this. I'm going to give the game a couple of years, and then if it still hasn't spawned in the crisis, I will spawn in. I'm tempted by the contingency. They're the ones who can cause us the biggest issues, plus we can test out the toxic god. I don't want to wait any longer. I'm already stalling with my worlds and everything else. I could be more powerful. It just spawned way too late. 25 years too late. I am so happy to see that. I didn't have to activate it, because if you do activate it, you don't get all these initial events. It just, I think at least, it's been ages since I've done it in one of the playthroughs, but essentially it just gets you to the point where the crisis shows up. This way, we actually get the whole thing. Also, I really should have moved my fleet back. So we have the ghost signal, which does in fact mean we are going to be fighting the contingency. Now, I think we're going to have an easy enough time against them. I did get Defender of the Galaxy, which I'm now regretting because of, oops, Daisy, because of just how long it took for them to spawn in. But yeah, we do have Defender of the Galaxy. We have an economy which is just an absolute beast at this point. Our military might is ridiculous, and we're not built specifically to counter them, but we are very close. We're not very far off. We're not weak to them by any stretch of the imagination, especially with our shields, since they mostly use energy weapons. They do use strikecraft as well, but we have a lot of point defense, so as long as I mix that into our fleets, we should be fine. But with the ghost signal now, it shouldn't take long, and we're going to see where the worlds are. Don't really think I have any synths to disappear, but okay. It's getting close then. I am building up some more ships. Honestly, I am minorly worried. So the only problem is, with how we've built everything, is that we are really bad versus armor, and I can't remember for the life of me if the contingency follows the rules of the Fallen Empires with more shields than armor, or if it's equal armor and shields. I know that their AI cores and the big boss at the end is basically just a big block of armor, which can be a problem against their 10k fleets, which guard them because you have to fight them both at the same time and a lot of your attacks get distracted. So I'm a little bit concerned about raw damage, but I think we'll be alright, especially since once the endgame crisis starts, all of our allies will send their fleets over, which although they won't be able to do as much damage as our fleets, they're still like 70k and stuff all over the place, and they will act as fairly decent meat shields. And some of them do have anti-armor weaponry. So we should be alright. I mean, So, I know for a fact we're going to be able to kill the 4-mil fleets. It's just the bases which I'm worried about, so I think maybe the best tactic will be kill the 4-mil fleets, wait around until we have a critical mass, then go after the bases. But we'll see how we do. If we just utterly crush the 4-mil, we'll just go straight after the bases. I'm waffling, because again, I've chose a very late hour to start recording today. They're here. Okay, well let's find out exactly where they are then. So, yeah, honestly, as long as they're not in my immediate territory, it's fine. It'd be better if they're in allied territory but far away. So, like, sections like this over here at the very edge of the galaxy is kind of what we want. I also just found a miniature galaxy, which happens sometimes. The first machine world. Oh, I can actually see the first machine world. Yep, right over there. A little bit annoying. It's in enemy territory, so if they don't open up their borders, which sometimes they don't, even when the contingency spawns, that may be an issue. But it is nice and far away from us. That's a low priority enemy.
Construction completed.
Will we see the next one soon? Okay, second one. Oh, yeah, once again I saw it. Lovely to see. It's a rare thing, but it turns out our other Fallen Empire is actually on our side. Every time I see this happen, normally they get hacked and then try and attack you. Nice to see them on our side.
This situation has been cataloged.
Once again, enemy territory, not perfect for us, but low priority again. Really should have sent those fleets back earlier. I started moving them at one point, and then I jumped them, and yeah, I forgot to give the second order. So what should happen now is I believe our allies should start sending their fleets over soon. I think. I hope. Will we get lucky again?
situation has been cataloged.
Oh. That's a problem. We do have the gateway there, but the thing is, I want to stop them getting past this choke point. So that gateway actually isn't all that useful. Okay, immediately, everyone. Absolutely everyone. Take point over there. Except for you, Nurga. You can just pretend you're moving and then chill out at Rotten Heart. Damn, right next to us. Okay, let's look at their stats, though, because I am still curious what exactly they are. 133,000 shields, 133. Okay, so their armor and shields are equal. They just have less hull than their armor and shields. That's kind of rubbish for us, because we are so bad versus armor. It's going to take ages to get through them. How about the AI core? Is that mostly hull or mostly armor, I wonder? Mostly hull. Okay, so that's fine then. That's absolutely fine. Our weapons will chew through that. Since we do bonus damage versus hull, it's just armor we struggle with. So we should have a last one at some point, I think. Hello there, Contingency, and with that, the fourth world is here in the center of the galaxy. That's a little bit more annoying, because it can get to our gateways and these worlds. But actually, we've been pretty lucky. We just need to deal with this first one. So lucky's a relative term. Lucky, except for this one. Now, I need to be careful. If I move into this system, I'll get everyone here first instead. My throat randomly broke while trying to say that for some reason. Is that a bad sign? Is it fate telling me not to do this? Might have to try and save our planets afterwards. Yeah, they're moving over here. Yeah, very good chance that they're going to grab our planet first. In that case, everyone here instead, please. They're sending their ground forces on their own to the system I just reinforced. What? Well, didn't expect that. Gotta be honest.
Research station jumped.
It's so hard to hit transport vessels with large weapons. Thankfully, Strikecraft. Okay, well, in that case, the original plan is back on. Defend this world. Why am I getting no trade value? Oh, they've rushed right to there. That's fine. Just need to be careful. And deal with these two fleets. This is going to be a bit laggy. Okay, so military applications. Extra damage to the armor. We need to break the armor down. Like, the shields are going to break instantly, but the armor's going to be an utter nightmare. Though I guess we do have a lot of Strikecraft, but they're unupgraded Strikecraft. Most of our things are just barely upgraded. Okay, some of their ships are going down already. Yeah, I think every fight we're going to have is going to devolve into these brawls because of the lack of burst damage we have. Still, that's a very clean fight. We just kind of absorbed them. It's like watching an amoeba. Okay. Where are you going? Okay, I want to take these systems. What I would like to do is take all the systems and destroy this construction vessel, really. But I also want to stop... You know what? No, we're going to go hunting for that fleet. Take out that fleet, then this area is pretty much nullified for a while. They, of course, will make new fleets over time, but it might take a while. Then what I could do is go over here and perhaps take out the fleets of another group, but I really would love to just take out this world. That would be nice. I like how our allies don't quite know what they're doing. Most of the time they're with us, but sometimes it's like, we can go somewhere else for a bit. Oh, they're attacking the contingency by themselves. That's clever. In normal speed, without the lag, this would be incredibly quick. Yeah, I also need to check what weapons they have. So we've already found out that they have more armor than I thought they did. I'm hoping they are just energy weapons. We don't seem to be losing all that much. I'm just watching my my naval capacity. It's not dropping that much per fight. Yeah, we're losing very little, actually. So what weapons do they have? They have neutron launchers, gamma lasers, large plasma cannons, medium plasma cannons. Okay, yeah, so pure energy weapons. then I know for a fact they have Strikecraft. Why are you going such a weird way? Oh, this gateway got taken back. Well, that's annoying. Fine, okay, let's take all these systems back for us. Then we'll see if we can take out this 10 mil. I'm a little bit nervous about that just because it is so many things around here. I think we'll be alright. Armor! Really hoping we take out the station before this fleet engages, because the Strikecraft will be very dumb otherwise. The shield just melts instantly on everything we're attacking. Oh, actually, to be fair, everything's melting with this time. Strikecraft being hard countered by our Strikecraft. Okay, yep, the hub and the enemy are fighting. That's weaker than I thought it would be. Anyway. It's less laggy than I thought it would be too. Why? Wait, where are my meat shields? Meat shields! You're not in the position I wanted you to be. Did you not follow me in? You did, but you turned around at the last second. I don't get their orders. Ooh, they were at much higher health than I expected when they got close to us. Please take out that. It's messing up all the AI. Thank you. Hoping that's still active, because that's a lot of armor we've got to chunk through right now. I think we're gonna... Oh, yeah, we're definitely gonna be okay. I have always 200 Ks over there. It's just gonna take forever, but yeah, that's definitely going through. Good, good, good. Good. Lost a lot more that time, but on the upside, we have dealt with the threat. So if I just leave 2 decent sized... Oh, why have I done this for Titans? I need to use the Fleet Manager. Doesn't matter though, all of my Titans currently only have one thing with them. Now you may be asking yourself, Lathix, why are you only using one of the bonuses? It's because Titans get destroyed so quickly in this game. Especially against crises and stuff like that. So I just want to make sure there's at least one alive at all times with this one. Minus 10% fire rate, because when you get into brawls like that, it's that kind of thing which really, really helps. All the rest are good, but that one is the one I really want online. The reduced shields doesn't matter for us. The extra fire rate is nice, but not intense. I just want to reduce their damage dealt by 10%. There's just one dealt with, and we didn't lose too much. And of course, our economy is great, so we can just reproduce more. Wow, our energy is now so high because we have less fleet. So, which is the next scary group? I'd say this is the least scary. This one is of the least concern. There's no wormholes in here going towards my territory. It's nice and far away. It's definitely the least scary. This one is worrying because there are wormholes over here which jump directly into my territory. So these two are both problematic. I think fighting the 4 mil fleets first from both, then going after one of the worlds is the play. Lathrix has had a wonderful idea. In addition to the Divine Enforcer, you can research the other options as well. In this case, the World Cracker, which means now my Colossus has the ability to break open these sterilization hubs rather than us very, very slowly bombarding them. All of my fleets are now moving over here. Wow, they got there quick. And I'm moving over here, and we're just going after the 4 mil fleets. I just want them all taken out so this area is safe, then I'll probably go after one of the planets, although I might need some more reinforcements before that. Better safe than sorry, because if we lose all of our fleet, that'll take years to recover from. That looks so cool. I do love this Colossus, I really do. Once again, I think this might be my new favourite ship set. A lovely Toxoid one. And goodbye AI. Oh, I thought we were fighting something. No, they're just all leaving because, you know, the machine world has been destroyed. Beautiful. And I'll take you to the gateway. I must leave you there till it's safe. So where's enemy fleets? There's one there. Oh, God, the lag. So there's one fleet there. Oh, they're both there, in fact. Could you please separate? That would be great. As soon as they separate, we'll go for them. I've only just realised how insane the main weapon of the Titan looks like if you're using the Toxoids pack. Look at that. Just flinging a disease beam at the target. Which is a really weird sentence. I've got to be honest, the hyperline relays make this way more annoying than it has to be. Enemies jumping around too much, me going in weird positioning because of it. It's useful for most things, but specifically hunting down contingency fleets. Really annoying. Or it could just be me not being used to it, to be perfectly honest. It could be user error, I admit. There's a very low chance I'm being a dum-dum. Okay, so... Oh, that's where that fleet is. Okay, this is one of their fleets, isn't it? Yes, okay. I've took out both of those fleets. Actually, no, I took out 3 of those fleets because they made a new one. Oh, there's a chance that's a new one then. 1, 2, yep, that's a 3rd. No, it looks like these both are from this one. Those both from this one. Okay. Let's try and hunt down this one. Then I think we're almost in the position again to attack another of the worlds. Second planet gone. Lost most of my fleet earlier, but okay. I'm holding off at the moment because of this. The Galactic Defense Force has just passed, and although it's its minimum size, I'm waiting until it's fully operational before we start going on the offensive again. I could probably take out a world now. I have a decent amount of power just waiting around. But I really want this to join us. A united galaxy. Is there anything more glorious? With the Galactic Defense Force in tow, here we go. Oh, straight away split firing. Not what I wanted to see straight away, but it's fine. Also, now I remember I haven't done this yet. There we go. Here's hoping the strike craft don't do their dance between these two groups, because they're going to be quite far apart, which is a major problem for them. Oh, yep, kind of doing the dance. Oh, come on, if you can take out that cord. It's another wave of hits there on the core, and it finally goes down. Then once that's down, all the strike craft will have to focus on the thing they're meant to be focusing on. Though I guess they could try and reach out for the station. They tend not to do that as much. Yeah, they're actually in the fight now. We're losing quite a lot, though. Actually, that's not going as well as last time. I guess it was just that split at the start wasn't really great, and we didn't take out the station before the fight. Last time I managed to take out the station, then get into the fight. This time, there wasn't really a way to get over here, while still having all my allies as a buffer. Yeah, definitely a victory, though. Not the cleanest of all victories, but a victory nonetheless. Just building up for the final attack against the last planet, and this random fleet really wanted to fight my build-up. Half the fleet isn't here yet, but yeah, that's fine. Look at them pop. I waited around for so long, we're now the ruler of this galaxy. We are officially the Emperor. Because I believe that's how it works. If you wait around long enough, you will eventually be crowned a monarch. Only the laziest amongst us can truly rule. Yeah, this is an awful fight. Because of the positioning of these two systems, it's basically always going to have all 3 of them attack us at once, which means the attacks are being split and the strike craft are doing their very annoying dance. Once that core goes down, our damage is going to be a lot more focused. There we go. Return, my flock! Return and actually do things. On the upside, every time this happens, I get a sudden massive influx of money because I no longer have a fleet to pay for. There's a very real chance we lose here because of all that. You know, I should have just made brawling ships by now. Come on, strike craft. Do the one thing you're meant to do and destroy this one fleet, please. Okay, it's down to 1 mil. Yeah, we've got this. Yeah, so the mistakes in this fleet are I'm using long-range weapons when clearly we can't pick them up before they get to us. I'm not mixing in other ship types. I shouldn't just be using battleships. I'm just forcing it at this point because I like these types of ships more than anything else. We could have won it earlier, but I wanted to do it this way, and that was silly of me, really. There's Nergy. Where's other... Oh. I accidentally left them all over there. Could you please come here? That would be great. Don't actually hit an enemy on your way. That would be great as well. You know what? I'll put you on evasive. Just make sure you don't hit anything. And then you can break the hub. And upon doing that, we then only have to fight the final enemy.
This situation has been catalogued.
The heart of the contingency is right here. Normally it's a bit out of the galaxy, apparently this time it's inside of it. I'm also making a really stupid type of battleship for this final fight, because I want to, and yeah, the last few battles have been silly. I really wanted to focus on Strikecraft still, even though they were being really annoying and silly. But this time I'm being even sillier by making close quarters brawler battleships. Now you might be thinking, Lathrix, why not build corvettes, destroyers, cruisers? I'll tell you why. Because we've got this far being dumb, and we're going to end it by being dumb. Because that's the kind of mood I'm in today. Oh, slight problem here. I sent in this fleet essentially to be destroyed. I wanted to replace it all with short-range battleships for a goof. The issue is, I didn't realize how much of these enemies' damage just comes from Strikecraft. And the Strikecraft we had, even in this minimal force, just kind of tore it apart. And really shows the power of Strikecraft when they do the thing you want them to do. The actual damage they can do is... Oh, look how glorious that is. Ah. Well. I'm sorry, lads. You had no reason to exist. And now we obliterate the final bit of the contingency. I swear in the next full playthrough I'm going to be really messing it up a bit. Because I felt really weak throughout this entire video because I was playing not the best, but also I was making some funny choices, and I can't wait for my Tech Rush build. End of the contingency, but also Vigil's end. Of course, that's to do with the Vigil over here, I imagine. Let's have a quick look-see. At the very moment that the last contingency machine world self-destructed, our instruments detected a subspace signal in immense strength. The signal originated from the Iribot custodian process. Oh, that's our allies. Who were here and now aren't. The Fallen Empire, that is. Over the next few hours, scattered reports came in of Iribot's fleets vanishing from sensors, entering jump points to familiar systems, but never emerging on the other side. A scout vessel near their space was sent to investigate and reported back startling finds. The ancient machine intelligence has disappeared entirely, leaving behind only abandoned orbital stations and decaying megastructures. Where they have gone to is a mystery that we may never solve, but one thing is clear. The task that the Iribot set for themselves in ages past is now complete, and their ancient vigil is now at an end. You know, I've never seen that before, so that may have been here for ages, and I just didn't get lucky enough to have the Fallen Empire like that, me not destroy it before the contingency, and then them join us rather than go against us. But I haven't seen that. But I'm afraid that does mark the end of this full playthrough. The real goal really was only just to do the whole Knight's Quest and find Nergy, our lovely pet plague god, and I absolutely loved that. It was very different reading so much, and my voice actually hurts now, but I really do hope you've enjoyed. I love this DLC patch so far. I love the theme of it. I always love the gross scavenger kind of style of things, the heavy industrial, the plagued. Glory to Nurgle, and all that other lovely stuff, so I really hope you did too, and if you have, then of course, likes, favourites, shares, comments, all that good stuff, helps out me, helps out the channel, and most importantly, shows that Stellaris is a series you wish to see continued in the future. I will be bringing back Stellaris as a more main thing on the channel after this full playthrough. I still need to do a run with Gigastructural Engineering to do the extra endgame stuff there by allying with the Blockuts, along with the other endgame crises I've not touched yet. There are also a lot of other mods I want to test out, and there's going to be one more vanilla run very soon, in which I'm going to be very, very meta and very, very powerful, using the other origin within Stellaris and within the new DLC, which honestly I think has the potential of being utterly broken if my ideas work. Which they rarely do. So maybe it'll be an absolute potato, but there we are. Thank you so much for watching, have a lovely day, and do take care. And until next time, always remember, Nergy loves you.